Mario, or reach us on the World Wide Web at smbplumbing.com.
We're the Mario Brothers, and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. When your sink is in trouble, you could call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers.
Thank you, Super Mario Bros. It seems like the only thing you haven't drained is my bank account. For super service, call or text Super Mario Bros. Plumbing today at 929-55-MARIO. Or reach us on the World Wide Web at smbplumbing.com.
Oh! Who lives in a banana under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants!
Can you see the Hello, everybody. We are
Hello.
we're getting set up. We don't have Mike, so it's taking me a second to get this thing filled out. But we got AJ, so we got the better Minotti already. We're set for tonight.
Some would
Great.
argue an upgrade, yes.
Yeah. Oh, here, okay. Let's see here. Dead Space. Madden. FIFA.
Can you install RetroArch on Series X? That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, apparently getting emulators on it is not that hard.
That's rad.
Yeah, they made it pretty easy. It's cool. You can even do it in retail mode now.
Yeah, apparently the Dolphin port for Xbox is really, really good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. I want to.
man, I should buy that.
And you don't even need to do the developer
Xbox.
mode. You just go to like a website in Edge, and you get
Yeah,
wild
just like
with it.
side loads it.
Man.
Edge.
Future.
Helping, yeah. Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thought? Edge is the
Right.
key to our future. Okay.
You got the music?
No, of course not. I just did the basics. Let's see here. Stream Deck.
We're one man down today, so.
Nintendogs. Let's see what that says. Living in the city. You
Mike is on a
guys-
date for.
Were you guys just hearing the music that was just playing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's see here. Then I'm gonna go here, and oh yep, you guys wouldn't have been. Now you might if I have the audio thing turned off.
Hey, you guys
No.
hear me? Start
Oh,
cheering.
there it is.
There we go.
Yeah, but I had it turned down. Sorry, on the Goxler. On the Goxler. Okay, let's bring up this. Actually, you know what? Let me close that.
No, that's
No.
just disrespecting the mod, Benji. You can't say that.
Well, Beef is slandering me in the chat, so I can see why people would be confused.
Okay. Yeah, feels good. Feels right. I got Discord here.
Johnny is on his Bill saga.
I got stream elements here. Let's go to the dashboard and make sure that I can see the activity feed. Oh, this looks messed the hell up. This is weird now. You know what? Let me
You
try
are
this.
weird.
There we go. Okay, that's what it is.
You know Mike on Valentine's Day? Yeah, Mengoli. You gotta do it to him.
There we go. Okay. They like changed the way this looks, or I've done something weird to stream elements, whatever.
A little of both.
A little bit of both. Okay. Yep. I think we're set. I think we're ready to go.
Everything looks crispy.
Everything's crispy to you. Okay. Good
Yeah.
to hear. Actually, you know what? One more thing. Let me just text Mike Minotti.
Did you tweet?
No, Mike.
Did Edge
Check.
tweet?
He can tweet.
Your
He can tweet.
No.
DMs. You piece of shit.
Look,
Shit.
I honestly, ever since they killed TweetDeck, I've barely touched Twitter. It's amazing how that just killed my use of the platform.
Yeah, I tried to get in, but I'm trying to I'm forcing myself to use it more. But still, I don't.
It just
I miss the old
doesn't work
Twitter.
the way I want it to, so I just don't use it. It's awful.
Yeah, it doesn't serve me the content I need.
Force minute. I don't care if you already replied. I needed to do that. Okay. Now I need to tweet, and then we're gonna get started. Thanks to everybody for bearing with us. This is our first time doing a podcast. All right.
Okay, have fun.
Ever.
Thank you.
Oh, I'll get you that album of the cover arts if you want it still.
What?
Topic of the week.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Radius?
Hell
Yeah.
yes. Baller. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
I'll grab that for you. If you want to do a break before that.
Yes, that'd be great. We'll take a break before that.
Cool. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Podcast. The better Minotti happening now. Okay, you know what? I think people have done. There's a new meta on this. You include a GIF or something instead of the link, and then you reply with the link. So apparently, maybe that does better on Twitter. So let's try that.
Brother. You go ahead.
There's a fun Mickey Mouse one. I'll tweet that since that'll make Mike upset since he's not on this one. There we go. Happy Galentine's Day. Yeah. All right. All right, let's do this. I'm there. I'm here. I'm everywhere. I got that.
All right. Do you want me to like actually be Mike and do the intro and everything?
How do you feel about that? Because I'm down with that.
I can do it.
Let's do it.
I
Okay,
can do
awesome. Thank you. All right, you'll hear the music. You just go when you're supposed to go. Let me make sure that I have the correct threads. There's questions for last on Nintendogs, and then the favorite 3D box art. But my homeboy Sean's got a imager, I think, for me or whatever. Okay, let's start. You ready to go?
I am ready.
All right, I'll count us in, and you just go when the music is the right thing. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Starting to record. Actually, you know what? 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm AJ Minotti, and I am sometimes a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. On this week's episode, $70 Switch games, that's crazy! But hey, the emulators for the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance are pretty good. We got NPD numbers and a crazy wacky Super Bowl spot, but first, Jeff, what's going on?
Not much. I'm very excited to have AJ Minotti here, man. Thanks for stepping in tonight. Mike is
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
Mike is in a gutter somewhere. We don't care. We didn't ask. I don't know. I just
He's hanging out with a pizza rat, and it's all fine.
Yes, it's all fine. So he's doing his day job or whatever and traveling.
Yeah, he's working apparently.
Yeah, right, exactly. Hardly working, if you know what I mean. How strange is it to you, as someone who's known Mike Minotti his entire life, the idea of him traveling for work? Because that seems like something, like 10, 15 years ago would have seemed pretty outlandish, right?
Listen, I used to have to go and get like the tomatoes taken off his burger at Burger King because he was too shy to do it on his own. So I'm still unsettled by the thought of him getting on an airplane and getting there by himself.
Yes, it's pretty amazing how far our boy has come. And yeah, so he's out there doing some fun stuff for work. He'll probably come back and tell us about it on Game Mess Decides on Thursday. We'll see about it then. But yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am phenomenal. It is Valentine's Day, and I am spending it with my favorite Valentine.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day, buddy! It's Galentine's Day. I'm here with my gals. Let's go. Yeah, it's.
I was gonna say Valentine's Day, but you do you.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is fantastic. I went and I ordered Uber Eats Thai food for me and Steph, and we were very excited. We got like bubble tea and all that stuff. There's not a lot of options for that around here, but we found a good one. And I'm watching this stupid app, and just no one's ever gonna pick it up. I did I'm like a huge tip right up front and everything. Just people are. It's a busy night. No one saw it, so I just went and picked it up myself and did it that. So I'm like trying to stay home, and like, nope, I'm gonna have to rush around tonight, try to get all this stuff done before the show. But we got it. I ate. I'm doing good, and it was fun. It was a fun night. It was cool to hang out with the girls and stuff. Get all the girls flowers and stuff and all that stuff. So good Valentine's.
My wife thinks Valentine's Day is dumb and stupid, and we don't celebrate it. Which is fine by me.
Incredible. That is honestly the greatest gift that I could get for Valentine's Day is not having plans. It's just, no, we're busy. It's the middle of the week. We don't get today off of work.
Tuesday. I made tacos because it's Tuesday.
Exactly. Taco Tuesday is a good way to celebrate Valentine's Day. So yeah, that's fantastic. That's good stuff. I don't know, AJ. What I was thinking is, Mike runs this show. You're a Minotti. Should I just hand this over to you and we'll get into it?
I've done podcasts before, and they usually start with the news. So let's get into the news and talk about these $70 Switch games.
Yeah,
and the chaos that ensues.
Right. So we came out of the direct last week. We talked about this a little bit on our emergency episode last week. But it's like, since that we've heard a few more details, Nintendo has said something along the lines of, not every game is going to be 70, but we will decide on a case by case basis. I guess, how do you feel about that? Like, $70 for Zelda seems kind of wild, but also it's like not surprising at all at the same time.
It isn't, because as you said in the show, if they're going to charge, $70 for Returnal, Nintendo's not going to look at that and be like, well, what the hell are we doing with like the most anticipated game of the year, not charging as much as we could? I mean, where people get kind of bent and out of shape about it is these price changes usually come with a generational transition.
Right.
So it is weird at the tail end of what should be a hardware's life cycle that they are just kind of arbitrarily seeming to jack up the price. I mean, Nintendo kind of did that to themselves by kind of leaving that kind of time frame with the other consoles. I mean, I think, you know, if you look at the kind of time and attention that's gone into Tears of the Kingdom, sure, it's on par with what everyone else is charging $70 for. You know, if EA is going to charge $70 for Wild Hearts, I'm comfortable paying $70 for Tears of the Kingdom, I guess.
Yep.
Where it gets weird now is what will constitute a $7 game for Nintendo going forward. Pikmin 4 is going to be $60. I mean, that's a brand new game from one of their kind of now core franchises. It's a big release.
And I'm happy it's only $60. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm glad it's only 60, but it's like, oh, well, why is that one 60 and this one 70? Okay, with Zelda. But then what is the case by case? What is their metric for deciding, right?
I mean, probably Zelda, Mario Kart.
Well, I mean,
if there's a Mario Kart 9, it's going to be 70, I guess.
So in the Bombcast, I did this. I did a little game with this. Let's do it now. So Pikmin 4 is $60 this year. Let's say it came out next year. Do you think it would still be 60?
I don't know. They could use like the calendar year as a, but why not already have done that? Like,
right. Sure.
I mean, maybe they didn't want to kill Fire Emblem with that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe that is what they could do. Like this tests the water. Maybe they do with the next Pokemon game this winter, and then you just next year it's like, okay, we're at the $70 price point now.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you know, I was saying because this year it's Pokemon, it's the DLC for Scarlet and Violet, but they're just going to sell a version of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with the DLC packed in, right? That is probably $70, right?
Yeah.
And then you just go 70 every year from that point forward, no matter whether there's DLC included or not. That is almost exactly what they're going to do, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm like,
hey, we solved it.
We're frightened at
Easy.
our own detective
Easy.
abilities here. Jesus. It's like scary seeing the future like that.
You just got to talk these things out.
Yeah, exactly. We talk these things out, we figure it out, and then we see like it's like it's in the beginning of Super Smash Brothers Ultimate when Shulk sees everyone getting disintegrated for a second before it happens. That's what just happened to us with the $70 price. Okay,
and I like what MN Goldie says in the chat here too. Like they'll probably do like a Mario Kart 8 Super Deluxe that has the game and all the tracks that are, you know, once that's done, that would be $70. You just get everything.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And then Sean says it'll be like $90 for that Pokemon because they don't give deals, and the DLC is like $60 or $30. So yeah, good point. Okay, so the next Mario game's 70, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And then so I mean,
Metroid Prime 4, that's gonna be 70.
Yeah, it's Metroid Prime 4, that's gonna be 70. Okay, so then I'm trying to think of an equivalent to like Pikmin 4. There's that Fire Emblem remake that is going to be coming out next year. What do you think that is?
Now, again, it's a remake. It's in that same kind of tier as like a Pikmin 4. That if what they say is true and it's not everything, that's probably 60 then.
And I think they will be happy to have that 60, 70, those 60, 70 tiers because what they probably drop is a $50 tier, something that happened with WarioWare, right? So,
right.
Like, we're probably not going to get another budget title like that. They'll just be like, no, this is the lower one. The lower one is 60 now. And they won't even act like 50 was ever a thing. So, yeah. And
there's a Captain Toad 2, that'll be $60.
And that's just like, you know, they're slowly shifting the window up. And that's how this sort of thing works. And then, of course, the biggest games will just be 70. And then pretty soon, well, the next generation comes along. Okay, so we said next year, whatever, or we're just saying games. But with the next system, I mean, do you think then a game like Pikmin 4 would be 60? Or do you think they just say, no, not everything's 70?
Yeah, I think once new hardware's out, it's 70 for everything.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Nintendo games always demand a premium. And if they have the hardware to justify it, if they're, you know, hitting 4K and they can kind of say, okay, now look at the graphics. Because that's, that's everyone's price metric. That's why, you know, God of War costs what it costs and Hi-Fi Rush costs $30, and because it's not realistic. So
yep. And then Metroid Prime Remastered is $40 just out there,
which is just insane.
It's wild.
Like
I'll take it.
You know, I'm not paying no $1,200 or anything, but yeah, $40 that was the quick. I think it's the quickest I ever bought a game in my life. Like, it was insane.
And then as soon as I saw it for sale physically, I bought it too. I never do that. So I'm just, man, I just...
my daughter's expressed an interest in it, and her birthday's next month, so she'll get a copy, but I'll keep the box.
There you go. Fantastic stuff. It's, I am really enjoying that game. But yeah, it's there's someone in chat who'll see us. The Metroid Prime level remasters will go up to 50. So yeah, that's from Mike O'Leary mentioning that. I think that makes sense as well. If we get many more of those, I don't know. It seems like the Zelda 2-pack, if that thing ever does happen, not to like bring more heat on me and Mike, but like let's say that thing does still exist and does still come out. That's probably 70 as well, right?
Like two games for 70, $35 a piece.
Yeah, right. That's how they would look at it. Okay. So one of the other things about this is the vouchers do apply. Have you in the vouchers being the thing where you spend $100 and you get 2 vouchers that are good for 1 game each. So essentially, you're paying $50 each for a game.
I was shocked that that would apply to Tears of the Kingdom. I thought it wouldn't.
I think they do that because people are like, wow, I'm shocked. I should do this. I should rush out and do this. Right. And that's part of well, we'll get people out there, and then we're committing them to buy like another game. Sure, they're getting at a discount, but that commits them to getting another game. If they want Zelda and they want to feel like they're getting a deal, well, we'll get them to also spend a little bit extra money to get another game. It's it's brilliant. It's what they want. It worked.
Right, like you said, anytime you give someone $100 and you think you're getting a deal, you're not really getting a deal.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying less for 2 games, sure, but you're being manipulated at least.
Yeah, but like I was gonna buy Tears of the Kingdom and I was gonna buy Pikmin 4, so
yes, exactly.
Why wouldn't I do this?
Yes.
Now maybe you were gonna buy Tears of the Kingdom and you were on the fence about Pikmin 4. Now you're getting Pikmin 4 or Advance Wars Reboot Camp or whatever that second game is. I think it's smart. This was no accident the way they rolled this out. The vouchers came out, then there was a couple weeks, then we got the direct, and then we got the price announcement. It lets everybody think they're smarter than they are. Exactly.
Anytime you make the customer feel like they're smart, it is, yes, as Turboshun says, a deal, but also very good marketing. Exactly. Yes. That's anytime you're getting people out there doing the marketing for you and being like, when someone says this is $70 and it's like 5 different people will reply with, just get the vouchers. It's like, okay, well, am I living in an infomercial? And the answer is yes. If you're a Nintendo fan, you're constantly living in an infomercial. But yeah, I'm gonna get the vouchers. I'm gonna use it on Zelda and probably Pikmin 4. Although I'm really working to get out of Nintendo jail too, so I'll just get codes. But we'll see. I'm like trying to get Kirby, so maybe I might even end up using the vouchers on Kirby and Zelda, but we'll see. It's a good time to be a Nintendo fan. A lot of good stuff coming up, even if the prices are going up.
Yep.
All right, you want to?
But speaking of being a good time to be a Nintendo fan, if you're an old school one, boy, those Game Boy emulators sure are nice.
Yes,
especially after the kind of disaster of the N64 emulators.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Is that there was a lot of skepticism about the quality of the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance emulators after N64, which had a lot of issues, very specific issues running some games. Now, in fairness, the N64 is a real bitch to emulate. It has always been really tough from the beginning, which is why Project 64, that original emulator that happened a couple years into the life of the N64, was this sort of miracle. But even since then, it's been really difficult to emulate. It's one of the reasons that people speculate Nintendo hasn't done a Nintendo 64 Mini. It's like, that's going to require just a little bit extra power, and that maybe the costs don't work out at that point. And the game licensing, of course, is an issue as well. But still, these Game Boy Advance emulators are really well done. MVG did an excellent video about them, breaking it down, basically saying in the Game Boy Advance's case, it's perfect emulation to what the original hardware was, and that's very exciting to me. I've been very happy with it. Now, but the question is, okay, we know more games are coming, but when?
Right. Steven Totilo actually got an answer from Nintendo about this. Basically, what they had to say was that we don't have a set schedule, but the libraries will expand beyond what they've announced. So it's not going to be like Nintendo 64, where they've been doggedly committed to this once a month, almost to the detriment of the service, I would say.
Yep.
I think it's better off if you could just dump 3 games at a time here and there. And
agreed.
That way, if it's one a month and it's not a game you like, well, that's just a month where you didn't get anything. So if there's 3 things, you're bound to find something in there you like. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. But going back to the emulators themselves, one thing that I am impressed by them, it has that, I forget what the exact name of the option is, but it's original display mode or whatever, where it puts the filter on. And usually when emulators have that filter, I don't use it. It never looks right to me. But for some reason, this one's kind of clicking for me.
What kind of Switch do you have?
An OLED.
Yeah, I bet
I'm sure
it's
that's
the OLED.
part of it.
Yeah, because when you darken those pixels that are the part of the dot matrix display, they can get fully dark, and so it's the glowing around that darkness actually works really well.
And it actually does. I don't know if you saw this. It does a really cool thing where, particularly in Link's Awakening DX, because of the way the kind of pixels flickered on the screen, they actually utilize that to make Chain Chomp's chain transparent looking, even though it's not. It's just a flicker. Yeah. If you're playing with that setting off, the dot matrix thing, it kind of like the individual links are in and out. It looks a little funky, but when you turn on that mode, it does replicate that effect accurately, which is kind of wild to me that it could do something like that.
And honestly, it's what's most wild about that is Nintendo was so tuned in to the individual effects used in some of these games that they knew to include that without being badgered about it. That was what happened with the N64 stuff is, oh, that Link looks weird in the water temple when he's fighting his shadow self. I know this is a weird graphical trick, but it looks wrong. They should have fixed it. Well, okay, they fixed it eventually. Here, it's like, this is a very minute detail, this transparency.
No one would have called them out on it.
No one would have even said anything. Yes, exactly. They would have been like, yeah, that happens in emulation. We would have moved on. The idea that it's just something that can be turned on with a big toggle mark right there, just check it on, and it's going to work, that's impressive stuff. That's really cool. And I've been really happy with it. And like you said, I'll be very happy when they start dropping these games in batches. I hope that's exactly how it works. I hope they stick to that. Well, especially those ones that have already been announced. Just give us all of those in one go
in the next batch. Yeah, let's go.
Next batch.
Like, don't make me wait around for F-Zero or whatever.
Yeah, for real. Let's just go.
Speaking of the batches, what do you know about this rumor of the Mega Man Game Boy games coming to the service among some of the other leaks?
Yeah, so apparently the people have been, of course, diving into the files, trying to figure out what's going on. It does seem like there are pointers to say somewhere in the testing phase, Mega Man games, the Mega Man Game Boy games were popping up, and people think that they're going to be included in the Nintendo Switch Online service here eventually. That makes sense because Capcom usually has a pretty good relationship with Nintendo on these things, but a lot of Mega Man games are already available on the Switch to purchase as part of bundles. Now, that didn't stop Sega from doing the Genesis stuff when it also has Genesis collections, but those Mega Man collections feel a little bit different. They seem like they're selling pretty well. So I just would be surprised if we got a bunch of the Mega Man Battle Network games for Game Boy Advance specifically. Those games are coming soon to Game Boy Advance in a bundle. So we probably won't get those, but there's no word of like the original Game Boy Mega Man games getting their own bundle. So why not?
They never repackaged those, and I don't know how well repackaged those would do. I mean, they're pretty niche. Yeah. But they're, again, like you guys talked about, it's one of those things you may not necessarily go through and play all of Mega Man 2 in the Game Boy, but if it's there, you gotta dump in and check out a level or two.
Yeah, people love checking those kinds of things out. Yeah, it's I think it's been fun to point to the youngins and say, this is what gaming used to be like. Yes. We're really getting to that point with stuff like Game Boy, where they a lot of, like 20-year-olds, like 25-year-olds still probably had a Game Boy because that was like Pokemon. They were still like pretty young kids, but they played Pokemon. But we're just getting to that point where like the new generation of kids that are coming in out of high school now and are like looking around into this world of gaming actually never touched an original Game Boy. And so, okay, now it's fun to point at them and say, hey, look at this weird stuff. We used to play games in black and white. Can you believe that? And it's true and weird.
All right, Jeff, let's dive into
25-year-olds were born in 1998. That's disgusting.
Sorry. That's awful. That's awful.
I forgot math for a second.
Here, I'll distract you with numbers. Talk to me about the NPD. What do we got?
Yeah, thank you. So Nintendo had a handful of games in there. It wasn't one of their best months, but Fire Emblem Engage was number 5 on the list. That's its first month in the chart. That only includes its physical sales. Had it been physical and digital, it seems like it might have gone up there right next to number 2 Dead Space. It probably would have been at number 3, but that's just a guess. That's a pretty good debut for Fire Emblem Engage, a game that seemed like it was going to get off to like a pretty weak start, and suddenly seems like, no, that's not the case. It is probably selling right on par, right behind Three Houses, which is really impressive for Engage, a game that did not have the greatest word of mouth coming into it, but coming out of the review period, now it does. There's a lot of buzz. People seem really happy with it. I feel like
that game benefited from kind of like a lowered expectation where everyone was like setting themselves up thinking like, this will be okay. I don't know. It looks weird. It's like got this weird gotcha thing maybe. I don't know. And then it does come out and everyone's like, wow, this is actually pretty good. Not as good as Three Houses, but better than I thought. And then that just kind of, spread out.
Yep. And so I think you're right that people have come around on that. and it's reflecting in this first month sales. We'll see if it's able to hang around. It launched kind of late in the month. This is about 7 or 8 days on the charts. But yeah, so we'll see if it's able to stick around for the second month. Other Nintendo games on there, Scarlet and Violet was number 10. Mario Kart 8 was number 14. That's actually pretty low for Mario Kart 8. This is not the only place where Mario Kart 8 seemed to drop. In Europe, sales for Mario Kart 8 were down pretty significantly. And something like 30%. Now, that is likely, and that's year over year. So not from like last month, year over year. I think the answer to that in Europe at least is last January, Pokemon Legends Arceus launched, and people were probably getting the Mario Kart 8 bundle along with that, or just buying Mario Kart 8 to go along with their Pokemon Legends Arceus.
A new Switch, yeah.
New Switch and stuff like that. So that probably explains it in Europe. But why it's all the way down to 14? Maybe everyone's actually just finally bought it. I guess we'll see.
Could be.
I'm always afraid to count it out.
They're selling more Switches every day, so someone's there to buy it.
Yep, and so yeah, we'll see if it bounces back here pretty soon. But yeah, it's a decent month for Nintendo. But mostly it's like that Fire Emblem Engage launch was impressive.
All right, did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did. As much as I could. I was pretty busy. I actually didn't see the Super Mario Brothers movie TV spot live during the show. I missed it. I was taking care of kids or something
until earlier today. I was like, oh, there was something. Okay,
I saw some people talking about it that night. I'm like, oh yeah, I should try to find it. And then it took me until the next day to actually remember to do that. But I looked into it, and it's a lot of fun. So it's just this 30-second spot. And it doesn't seem to necessarily be a clip from the movie, unless this is a clip from the movie that is a commercial for their plumbing service, kind of like the Ghostbusters commercial inside of Ghostbusters. And you're supposed to call the number 9555 something Mario or whatever, and you call that, and Charlie Day as Luigi picks up and says, "Hey, yeah, you should text us." So I guess you could text that number, and that seems like a movie marketing line.
Did you do all this?
I called it, yes. We can call it right now if you want.
I was going to say, should we call it live on the air? Let's go.
Yeah, let me get this right here. I got it ready to go.
I got it.
Okay, all right. He's making it happen, everybody.
Wait,
okay.
hang on.
Yeah, no problem.
No, get on my speakerphone. Come on.
All right, so while he's doing that...
Here we go.
Okay.
Hey, brothers, plumbing. It's for me, Luigi. And if you need service, please text us at the same number. You just call 92955 Mario. That's 929-556-2746. For just about any issues, wherever you live. House, condo, mansion?
Mansion?
Text you back right away, because it's Mario Brothers Plumbing. We don't say let's wait. We say
let's go. There we go. All right. That's good stuff. That's
plumbing.com.
the website itself is like a pretty impressive too. There's some fun stuff on there, some pretty good artwork. They have a picture of the Mario Plumbing van, which I think is really adorable. They got
and they will sell that toy for sure.
Yeah, I will buy it. I want a Lego version of it. Let me go to town. They have reviews, and one of the reviews is from Bro's mom. Is her username? And it's like, oh my god, Mario and Luigi's mom not only is writing reviews,
5-star review.
Yeah, she exists. I'm like, wait, do you think this movie is going to show the Mario Brothers mom?
I mean, they tease it. It's Chekhov's mother. They got to show her now, right?
I think so. I think you're right. I said that she should be played by Snooki. Who do you have any like dream casting? I'm talking about like that.
I don't know. Let's get Marissa Tomei back in there.
Yes, that's really good. Actually, God, that would be fantastic. All right, so yeah, the website's fun. This is cute. Everything they're showing for this movie, it just keeps getting cuter and looks like a really good time. The kids, especially Emmy, who's moved on from Mario, and like every time he comes up, points out that she likes Kirby way more than Mario. Is still like, oh, that movie looks pretty good. Maybe we can go see that movie. So I'm like, all right, yeah, let's go. Let's make it.
Yeah, my kids are very pumped. We're probably going with all the cousins, and
it's a great idea.
A big day of it, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still super excited, and it's like I said, it's just looking better than ever.
All right, so Metroid Prime Remaster, pretty big success, but there is one issue that has been raised, and that is that the game does not credit the original developers. Instead, there's just like a little line during the credits. It's like special thanks to the original development team or something weak like that. What happened here, Jeff? Why not give credit where credit's due?
I think this is just bad practice. I think this is just bad form. on Nintendo's part, on Retro's part. I think this is the game industry being like, this is a new product. We credit the people who worked on the new product, even if it is entirely the bones and built on the work of everyone that came before. Well, they're credited in that game. We don't have to do it again. And it's bad and stupid because, for one, it's not like you have to pay people again because you credit them in your games. No one gets residuals in video games. So you're going to credit them again and be like, oh, no, you have to pay them. No, you don't. You don't pay residuals. So just credit them. Why? Like, the least you could do is that. And yeah, it might make the credits kind of long, but oh, well, a lot of people work to make this thing. Yeah, who cares? They're the credits. People are used to that being long. It's just a bad call. There's no reason for it. It's actually pretty stupid that every couple of months right now we're getting stories about crediting issues. This should just be sorted out. Developers should have a say in how this works, and they should decide this is what it is. And obviously, a lot of that does, or at least in video and movies, it has required strong unions to apply those rules. Yeah, well, okay, if that's what it takes here, let's do it. Let's get it going. But
how did Tommy Tallarico let this happen?
I know, right? I mean, listen, he's usually so good about these things. He's usually on top of it. I don't want to immediately jump down his throat, but in this case, we might say, Tommy, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, you were working there hand in hand all these years,
hand in hand with Miyamoto,
and it should have been done. You know. Yeah. Because, I mean, he's not in these credits, and now that's like one less game for his Lifetime Achievement Award or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's. I was wondering if the Tommy Tallarico company was credited. I asked some people. I don't think anyone knew. His name is in the original Metroid Prime, even though he didn't work on it. It's his company. But yeah, that's very, very stupid.
It's always Joey.
Yeah, it's always
Joey.
Hey, it's always Joey. Everyone, again, go watch that H-Bomber guy. Oof, sound effect video.
Yeah, it's set aside 2 hours and
it's
make
worth
yourself a nice drink.
Absolutely.
You'll have a good time.
Yep, definitely.
All right, so we've seen the leaks. There are more leaks. So we're getting this Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED, Jeff?
I think that there has been credence lent to those original leaks, is what people pointed out. When you look at the new trailer, there is images of, I think, the in-game tablet Switch in there, and it has a certain design on it. And if you look at the design on that tablet, it exactly matches the previous leak of the Tears of the Kingdom Switch that someone claimed was coming, the OLED version that had all these special new Zelda designs on there. So the thinking is, no one, it would be very, very hard to manufacture this as some sort of false claim and then match it up to something that we hadn't seen before, because we had not seen it until this most recent trailer. So it's like, okay, this thing, I mean, at the very least, some of them have been manufactured enough so that someone was able to capture images and leak them.
Why not announce that with the big trailer dump at the Direct?
Good question, but I mean, I think based on what we got from the Direct when it came to Tears of the Kingdom, they just basically said, here's a relatively short trailer, and here is pre-order information. Go pre-order it. So clearly they have more to say. What form that will take, a Zelda-specific Direct, it's just a handful of video drops, Twitter announcements, who knows? But they obviously have more to say, and they'll announce it later. It seems like it is strange, but I mean, they're not going to include the game with it, so that's one of the reasons they can wait, right? Because they haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about like your pre-order getting canceled because now you're going to get it with this system.
Exactly,
or whatever.
That isn't an issue. They're just going to sell you a Zelda-themed Switch for the same amount of money with no game included. So have fun with that.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the news. Before we move on, though, Jeff, I gotta tell you something.
Oh, yeah. What's up, bud?
Everyone keeps giving Mike shit for looking like a testicle.
Yes.
And I, as his older brother, am here to defend him and say, listen, it's not his fault. It's our genetics. Okay, look. It's not our fault that there's nothing going up here. From the nose down, however, it's just hair. Like, all this. See this? It just keeps going. And sometimes, in certain segments of the body, there's just too much of it. And it's got to go. It's got to go, and it's been a struggle that I've had for so many years until the Lawnmower 4.0.
Woo!
So let me talk to you about Manscaped, which is sponsoring Game Mess and the last Nintendogs. Manscaped, it is the very best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer.
That's like
for
14 million balls. I'm sorry, I had to do the math.
Balls. You doubled it. Good job.
Thank
Good
you.
job. My kids would struggle with that for a few seconds. 20% off. That's what you're going to get. 20% off and free worldwide shipping if you use the code MESS, MESS, at manscaped.com.
Manscaped.com.
Jeff, you guys are high-rolling podcast celebrities.
That's how we describe
I'm just a
ourselves.
regular schlub. So I went to manscaped.com looking for a deal, and I found the Performance Package 4.0. And I said, you know what? I'm going to buy that. And I'm going to use code MESS and get an additional 20% off this already great deal.
How's
and
it been
was shipped to me
treating you?
for free. It was the greatest day of my life. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag, the Shed, to hold all these goodies. Now listen, I have sought many a product to take care of my basement grooming. And nicks and cuts are just no fun, because you can't put a Band-Aid down there.
No.
Now you just
It
got
doesn't
an
work.
uncomfortable burning where you were trying to seek relief. You just made it worse.
Yeah.
And it was just this eternal hell that I could not escape. But with the Lawnmower 4.0, I turned it on, got that 4,000 Kelvin light just shining the perfect white balance so I could see what's going on down there.
Thank you.
With plenty of power to spare. And, you're like, okay, how much better could this really be? And I gotta tell you, Jeff, it was a transcendent experience. I
think so,
couldn't
too.
believe how comfortable it was. And I got all my business done with nary an injury. And everything just felt great. I assume it looked great. You know, it's just great. It's a great experience to have a good manicured area.
And I don't think we can overstate this. If this is good enough for Minotti body hair, it is good enough for anything, right?
That.
Yes.
I mean,
that luscious forest
did it.
of fur.
Oh, it's everywhere. I mean, I did it just in the shower because it is completely waterproof. Everything just went down the drain, no mess to clean up. Thanks to the proprietary skin-safe technology, there were no nicks, no snags, no tugs. Everything was perfect. But let me tell you what I think is the kind of the secret. I'm gonna let you guys know the secret best part of the Performance Package 4.0. And that is the Crop Preserver ball deodorant.
It's a revelation. It really
Mike
is.
was talking about this stuff, and I'm like, come on, it's ball deodorant. What does that even mean?
It makes
How
me
good
feel
could that
so
be?
good every time I get out of the
It's
shower.
so good.
I'm so excited to
Everything
get cleaned up
smells
because
great.
of it.
Everything's nice and smooth. Chafing is a thing of the past. I have been so comfortable this week just knowing that my balls are deodorized. It's fantastic.
It's life changing. I love it so much. And then even the Crop Reviver, when it's like I don't have time to get cleaned up, I did just work out, I got to run to do something real quick. I want to feel better than I do, and I go and I grab the Crop Reviver, and it just kind of is a quick pick you up, make you feel cleaner, and that's so nice. It's like it's hard to overstate like just what that does for your sort of mental game. Where when you feel better about yourself, it's easier to go out there and perform, or like get on shows and stuff like that in the middle of the day. It's a long day talking about video games on the internet, and I'm like, I want to feel better about it, and that really does help me. So it's mess at manscaped.com. That gets you 20% off and free shipping worldwide.
That's right. You go to manscaped.com, you click that Performance Package 4.0, you're going to see everything getting it. You get those bonus items, the Shed, and the boxers. The boxers, super comfortable.
Yes.
Wonderful support. Super happy with the whole thing. Shipped to me fast and free. So go to manscaped.com, use code MESS to get 20% off and free shipping. Don't be a fool with your family jewels. Get the right tools at manscaped.com.
Thank you, mate. AJ, I really appreciate it.
I finally get to use my theater degree. It feels so good. You don't understand.
All right. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back, everybody. Okay. Sean, do you have that link for the Imager thing, or however you're going to do it? I didn't really ask if it was Imager or whatever. And then what else do we have to do? We'll come back and we'll read. I'll do super chats, and then we'll get into this other stuff. We'll go super chats, and then we'll do the questions.
Questions.
And then
box art.
Yes, and then we'll get to box art. Yes.
All right.
Good stuff.
So it's in podcast stuff. Do not comment on the thumbnail. I just realized what the thumbnail is. Do not comment on the thumbnail.
I just have no idea what that could possibly mean. Okay.
You'll know.
I guess I'll figure it out, huh? Podcast stuff. Let's see there. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
copy.
It's for our own good, Jeff. For the good of the channel, I had to do it. I'm sorry.
Okay. His face is so perfect for just about anything, but especially that. Okay, let's see. Let me go back to the questions here.
Chat, you'll see in like 10 minutes.
Okay, so how do I get to the thing for the where is it, sir?
Wait, for which thing?
Go to
the box
podcast
art.
threads.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, if you got it.
It's all matches the Discord, the thing you put together.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So yeah.
All right, so if you want to read them, AJ, if you want to read like the text entries, maybe like give Jeff a little bit of a prompt, like so and so submits blank box art, so he knows like he's on the right one.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks, Sean, for doing this.
Yeah,
All
no
right,
problem.
so I'll handle that.
All right, and I got the questions ready to go. Okay. All right, so AJ, just bring us back in whenever you're ready.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna go old school with this. Ready?
Yeah.
And we're back.
Yeah.
There's your GFW radio callback for you.
That's really good. You sound actually just like Jeff Green. That's good.
Thank you. It's a lifelong aspiration of mine. Jeff, have we been getting the super chats sent to us? Because those of you watching the show live know that you can send in a super chat anytime to the show, and we will read it. So who has sent them in so far?
Oh, yeah, we got a handful. I want to point out that I think my computer is freezing, so if I go away, I'll see you all in a second when I come back online.
No, it'll just be me.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, honestly, no, I think the whole thing might stop streaming here. No, okay, no, it was just that browser being weird. All right, that's a good sign. Okay, I thought I fixed my computer being weird, so there we go. Okay, let's start here with Forrest Menish, who sends in the super chat. I really do need to know if I should take unannounced Metroid Prime 2 Remaster and my fantasy critic, please. That's tough. So I have
do 2 in a year.
Yeah, I have been out there pointing out that they are going to do 2 and 3, but they're going to be lesser remasters. They're not going to be big boy remasters. They're going to be lesser. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean for the timing? What does it mean for the price? What does it mean for anything? I don't know the answer to any of those things. I will tell you that I think it's possible we might get another one by the end of this year. And so it's if you're willing to take that risk, it's on you. The risk is on you in your league. But if you're looking for something, if like the pickings are slim in your fantasy critic, I think it's as safe a bet as any other unannounced remaster.
You got to go deep.
Right. If you're looking to go deep, if you are looking to make a play that other people won't make, I think that there's a chance that it could still come. But you could also just save that slot for E3. Plenty of things are left unannounced for this year, so we'll see. All right. From Jeffrey Swerner, thank you for the super chat. Message retracted. Jeffrey, if you want to send in if you want to like fix something there, just ping us and the mods will make sure that we see it. Uriel Delgado, will the mom have a Pixar dump truck ass? L, if not. I think we're talking about the Mario Brothers mom.
Oh, she's going to have an Illumination dump truck ass. Yeah. If you've seen those movies, buckle up, boys. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Yeah, the BB
Just go look at the scene from
elimination.
Despicable Me 2 where he goes on a date, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Hell yes. Well, listen, strap in. She'll be wearing overalls as well, which really will accentuate the Illumination dump truck.
Especially if it's Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei. From Burrito, here's some money for AJ smooth Mike to Manscaped segue. Smooth like my, and then there's an ellipses there, and I have no idea what he's referring to.
I wonder what he meant to say.
Wonder what Burrito's going for there.
Like butter, I guess.
Yeah. And then Daniel Park, official petition to remove Mike from the show permanently. Well, there it is, everybody. Be sure to sign your name if that's how you feel.
You just gotta ask my wife if I can be free every Tuesday night. I'm in.
That does it for the super chats for now. So I think we have some questions from the community. Why don't we hop into those?
We have a handful. Yeah, let's get over to it. So our first question comes from Tink. And he says, when I was a kid, I rented Tasmania on the SNES from Video Express, not sure if that was a chain, and kept it for 3 months. They sent me a bill for like $180 and then promptly went out of business. So I got to keep the game for free.
Hell yeah.
I still feel bad about it. Did either of you rack up crazy late fees on any video games? I don't think I did anything that extensive. We'd always be like, I think a week was maybe the most we went. And it was never our fault. We'd be the ones like, hey, Dad, like, we need to go to Hollywood Video and return these games. He'd be like, I don't feel like it. Whatever. We'll just do it whenever. And, he's the one paying for it. So, hey, wasn't no skin off my back.
I have ADHD, so I racked up some insane late fees. I definitely had things that were months and months and months late, and I definitely had my account closed at Blockbuster, and they never let me open another one, which is why I was very happy for Netflix to come along. Because that one was just like, you just keep it forever. So yeah, hell yeah, I'll get Netflix. I'm talking about them sending DVDs by mail, by the way.
DVDs in the mail?
Yeah.
That's how I watched I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Hey, it's a way to do it. Yeah, I watched a lot of shows that way, actually. That was a time. So right. I had crazy late fees. I can't think of any specific gaming examples, but definitely with movies. Again, I don't remember. Maybe like Princess Mononoke I had for a very long time, things like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, Turbo Sean says, yes, hello, Sean from GameMess.net here. I have a question for Mike.
Contributor, Turbo Sean.
That's too bad, but I'll do my best. Mr. Minotti, that's me. How are you liking all these Game Boy games that were added in Nintendo Switch Online? He put it in quotes, and he put a bunch of Game Boy Color games. I know what you're doing, Sean, and I'm actually Team Mike Zors on this one, so go to hell.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I love those Game Boy games.
Ugh. Those Game Boy Color games, on the other hand, that looks so much better because they have color. So nice. Alan Wake 2 writes, Dear AJ, Miss Mochi, and Jeff, love is a bomb battlefield Grubb. Would it be possible for you two to do a stream like the one Jeff did a few months back where he was commentating on an old video game magazine? I always get a kick of historical stuff like that. Love you and all you do. Happy Valentine's.
Yeah.
You need to get your butt to Poland here so we could do some fun in-person streaming stuff. And I'll make sure I'm free that night too, and we'll rock it.
I was just looking at. Have you guys seen that Cleveland immersive Disney experience thing? Have you guys heard?
Yes, it was on our radar for the kids, but it's just there's so much going on right now.
Sure, yeah. I heard a little birdie told me they're going to extend it for the summer.
Oh,
and
good.
I might be able to maybe get us tickets. So
that'd be good. Yeah, do that.
So maybe make that happen. But you guys come there, and I'm going to try to get out there very soon. Like I want to come out one of these next couple of weekends.
We did the immersive Van Gogh, which is the same company, and it is very cool.
Yeah, I'm so we're very excited about it. We're going to get out there. I'm like trying to find a good date for that. So nice. That's like the one big thing we want to do right now. And then other than that, I'm trying to free up some time, especially now that we're past the Super Bowl, past other things. It's gonna like get busy with games here pretty soon, but honestly, we should just I'll go out to Poland. We'll do some fun stuff. That'll be a good time.
There you go.
Also, I still need to see Avatar. Make you take me to the movies.
Next weekend we're going out for my birthday. Just saying.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Yes. All right. Let's figure it out.
Okay. Anderson64 says, hi boys. Does Nintendo adding Game Boy and Game Boy Advance NSO apps and releasing Tears of the Kingdom late in the life cycle kind of backwardly confirm Switch 2 will be backwards compatible? Don't put it past Nintendo to try to sell you something twice.
Yeah, so there's a chart that Nintendo shared before that my buddy OJ, a YouTuber, points out and says they say that they're going to continue Nintendo Switch Online going forward. Now, I would say that chart is pointing towards the revenue that they're going to make from the subscriptions. And I just wouldn't put it past them to be like, most of the stuff is carrying over from your subscription, but not everything. In some ways, we're restarting again, but keep your subscription because there's new things coming. Right. That could still happen. I really think they know now is the time to figure out backward compatibility, like across the board. Of course, they've always done stuff in the past where they had Game Boy cartridges.
Only platform in existence that has no kind of backwards compatibility.
Right, and
Nintendo, tablets, consoles.
Yeah, and Nintendo's figured that out in the past by just including previous hardware in their new systems and stuff like that. They've done that a million times, but they need to really make sure that they thread the needle, make sure it's a smooth experience that just feels contiguous, because otherwise it's going to hurt their reputation and their ability to keep people subscribed, I think. And I think they know that.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, Jedi Moss 4 says, good evening, beef and cheddar gents. The Metroid Prime Remaster is another case of strange Nintendo decisions. What do you think led them to do a shadow drop of the game for $40 other than the screw over Jeff?
I guess
especially when compared its release to the Skyward Sword Remaster or Mario 3D All-Stars. It is weird when you can comparing the Skyward Sword is the weird one, because that was $60, right?
Yeah, that was, right?
And this feels like a much better remaster than that.
It doesn't make it. Honestly,
is it the Zelda tax? It's the Zelda tax, right?
Yeah, I think it's Zelda tax. I think Nintendo doesn't know what they have with retro. It feels a little bit like what's going on over there in Texas. They're making a Metroid Prime remastered. What happened to
Yanks
4?
making? Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's like, all right, whatever. I mean, it's probably going to be shit. So charge $40 for it. Honestly, that's what that part of it feels like.
Do you want to hear my Mario 3D All Stars theory that is based on nothing but my own thoughts and musings?
Please.
So they vaulted that. It's never coming again, right?
Yeah, sure.
But everyone's like, oh, they should release a Mario game with the movie. Guess what's coming back out of the bolt, baby?
Oh, that's actually probably a good idea. Now, are those? Do you guys? Are there any more on store shelves? Because those things were on store shelves for so long.
I haven't looked in a while, but they certainly did linger way past the March date from 2 years ago.
Yeah. So,
I would put $5 on it. That'll come back to
that is a really good call.
eShop.
Yeah. Okay. I'm right there with that conspiracy theory now. I love it.
All right. Cool. All right. Jamie H1224 says, no question this week, but Nintendo has said that the price of their games will be on a case-by-case basis. The main reason why Tears of the Kingdom is €70, is a €70 game, could be down to it being 18.2 gigabytes according to the eShop listing. For comparison, Breath of the Wild is 14.4, meaning Tears is going to be on a 32 gigabyte cart. Could just be me being too lenient on Nintendo, but the reasoning makes sense. I mean, you might know better than me. Have any of the games been on these bigger carts?
Yes, because I know the Jeopardy question that made me mad at Turbo Sean, and he's like, 32 is the biggest one they've used, so clearly something must have used 32. Fuck you, Sean. But not very frequently. And the cost to make something has nothing to do with the cost you price it for. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
You charge what people will pay.
It's not like everyone's been passing around like old catalogs grabs for like N64 days where games were like all over the spectrum of price.
Yeah, and like
a lot of that did have to do with cartridge price, but we're not in that era anymore.
No, it's completely different.
It's just they can charge it, so they will.
I do love this idea because the idea of them putting that, how those old cartridges would have like the yellow box where it said 32 megs. Or something like that. Oh,
Justify the price.
Yeah, to justify the price. It's a 32 meg cart. Oh my god! I hope they do that. 32 gigabyte Nintendo Switch card and a big box on the cover. Make it super ugly. I would love that shit.
Mm-hmm. There you go. All right,
way you phrased that question, Sean, I was right. Sorry, I'm still mad at it. I'm never gonna forgive him.
It's all right. You'll be fine. Chaos Buckaroo says, howdy, fellows. The Sheikah slate has changed from the Wii U gamepad in Breath of the Wild to a Switch in Tears of the Kingdom. What is your favorite use of a real console in a game? Like the Pokemon game is always using the Nintendo consoles in your bedroom, Animal Crossing having an NES, and Breath of the Wild with Wii U. I mean, I don't know if this counts, but like, do the bongos and like the Donkey Konga games count?
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that counts. No, that's a controller, right? So, I guess you said system, but I don't know. Still, I think it's in the spirit of the question.
The wheelhouse, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to think, does any game ever have like a Virtual Boy strapped on your face or anything like that? Was it a trophy in Smash Brothers? At least?
I'm sure that's the case. Yeah,
that'd be my pick if it was.
Yeah, I'm trying to there's definitely some examples like along the lines of that game of the Pokemon that he was mentioning there. I'm like trying to think of like DS games where someone was like holding a DS, but nothing's coming to mind. I like this too.
The correct answer is going up to a computer in Day of the Tentacle and being able to actually play Maniac Mansion on that computer. I think that's the correct. It's not Nintendo.
I'm glad Mike's not here. I don't think he would have any good answers for this one. Sorry, he's in chat screaming.
What's he say? Luigi's virtual. Oh, that's right. Okay, there it is. I knew it was
Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion had what did it have the GameCube? Well, Luigi's Virtual Boy. Oh, okay, yeah, yes. There we go.
I knew I wasn't making that up, but I just couldn't remember what it was, so I went to Smash Brothers.
Okay, very good.
All right.
He almost had a stroke, he said.
Almost had a stroke. Jimmy Nintendo says, woof woof. And you can hear my dogs barking, maybe. No, I got NVIDIA broadcast on. You can't. It's magic. Woof woof. I recently learned that Glenn Schofield, yes, the Callisto guy, was the art director of Home Improvement Power Tool Pursuit for the SNES. I hope you're as abused at this as I was. Well, my laughter as I read that out loud should indicate that I was very amused.
That is one thing I want to do, and I guess people will probably just steal this, but at Giant Bomb, if we get a chance to interview developers, I'm going to go to their Moby Games credit page
and find the
weirdest old game they worked on, and only ask questions about that instead.
It's like David Jaffe worked on Mickey Mania or something.
Yes, exactly. Yes, stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, Screaming Madden writes, hey, Jeff, Jim Ryan, and Tommy Tallarico, Mark, Grubb, and Mike, Alone in the Dark, A New Nightmare Pro, Minotti. With Game Boy and GBA finally being added to NSO, what is now your most wanted game to be added to both tiers? For Game Boy and Game Boy Color, I'd say Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, since that added so much content to the OG Super Mario Bros. And for GBA, WarioWare Twisted, the best WarioWare. I hope, and I saw this in one of the leaks, so I'm pretty confident it will come. But for GBA, I definitely want Mario Golf. That was my favorite version of Mario Golf, and I have a real soft spot for that one.
Yeah, I got it like right here. I'm like looking for it. It's in my analog pocket, which is somewhere
around here. And for Game Boy,
here.
of course, it's Donkey Kong 94 because that is the best Game Boy game.
Yeah, Donkey Kong 94 is definitely for me, and then for Game Boy Advance, I think maybe Drill Dozer on. Yeah, Drill Dozer was on Game Boy Advance. Yeah, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there you go. Right,
Ninja 5 is a good one too. Ninja 5 is surprisingly good.
I never played that.
People hyped it up a lot, and it actually lives up to that legacy. It's really fun.
All right. Disco Ferrari says, "Hey, B and C boys, in the direct, over half of the games shown could it be classified as anime or anime inspired? Am I wrong? When did everything become so anime all the time? Is this our new future? Thanks for all you do." I mean, Nintendo is a Japanese company.
Yep.
They've done a lot of anime shit.
Yep. I mean, it's anime is a very bankable thing. It has global appeal. It makes a lot of money. People spend a lot of money on it. It sort of always works. So we're just going to get more of it. It's fucking Toonami happened 25 years ago, and now we're here today. There you go.
That's right. All right. Evo Janice says, Metroid Prime Remaster is $40. Advance Wars 1 plus 2 is $60. Why? Well, let's break it down. If X plus Y equals 60 and X equals Advance Wars 1 and Y equals Advance Wars 2, X and Y are greater than C, which is Metroid Prime Remastered. There's your answer.
There you go. That was easy.
Again, it's a deal.
Yeah, it's a deal. You're getting a deal. Be quiet and take your deal.
Dr. Sut says, "Hello, men of Nick-free testicles. What you see below is a real boot, not a joke. On a scale of 1 to 100, how much do you want to look like Astro Boy?" And he has an actual pair of the Astro Boy boots.
Let me try to get this in here.
Very much so, and let me tell you why. When I was in college, my gay roommate somehow came upon a picture of Astro Boy and thought it was the funniest fucking thing he'd ever seen in his life and would not get over it for months. Just always talking about Astro Boy and his weird testicle feet. And because, again, the show's about balls now all the time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You didn't know anything about Astro Boy? I tried to explain to him what it was. He didn't want to hear it. All he just knew was this picture of Astro Boy in these boots.
I think it's beautiful. I would wear these, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think my feet would fit in them. I have big feet. One Up versus CPU says, aside from vehicle crafting stuff, what's the question gameplay or story-wise you want answered the most about Tears of the Kingdom? I want to know where exactly it all fits in the Zelda timeline. I need better answers than what Breath of the Wild gave me. Breath of the Wild was too ambiguous.
I don't need that, because everyone knows who I am. I probably just need to know, really, the gameplay question I'm going to have is, what's the deal with dungeons? I don't necessarily need dungeons, but I kind of also do not need people whining about the lack of dungeons again.
That's the bigger issue for me, too.
Right, so just like, if they're going to keep weapon degradation, which I think they might, but if they're going to keep that, okay, people are going to whine about that. I don't want them whining about dungeons, too. Give them their goddamn dungeons, and let's move on.
Right.
Move on to complaining about weapon degradation again.
Velocity Prime 1
No,
says,
I like weapon degradation beef. I like the degradation.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Yeah. I like the way you put it. It's like reloading.
It's
running out of
ammo in Halo when you have a weapon and you look around and there's no ammo for that weapon anywhere, so you have to drop it and pick up the one from the guy you just killed. It's the exact same thing.
Yep, and it works. Velocity Prime 1 says, Happy Valentine's Day to the dogs. If Tears of the Kingdom is received at the same level as Breath of the Wild, about a 97 Metacritic, does it have any chance of selling more than Breath of the Wild at 30 million? Well, it's going to have the advantage of coming out later in the Switch's life cycle where it has a much bigger install base. So, its initial sales are going to be much higher than Breath of the Wild's ever was. And then, if they do, within the next couple years, this Switch 2, and it has either, God forbid, a re-release on it, or at the, God willing, a just like enhancement patch, that'll juice the sales nicely. So yeah, I think it'll beat it.
Yeah, it is approaching 30 million, right? And that's a big number. But I think AJ's right. Nintendo will they will take every opportunity to elongate the lifespan of this game, and that means featuring it prominently as something that is a part of the Switch follow-up, and whether that is, like he says, a re-release or just a repackaging of this game that's backward compatible with upgrades because of the new Switch. All of that will be on the table, and they will make sure that game at least gets to 20 million again. I mean, thinking any Zelda game you release is just going to get to 30 million now, I think is crazy, but maybe that's just the world we live in now. So
yeah, it can happen.
It can happen.
A lot of Switches sold.
Yep.
All right, Bayleaf Moon says, Hiya Papaya Jeff, I love Samus's feet Grubb, and AJ the better Minotti. Oh, you guys make me blush. Nintendo is going to make a new Cadence of Hyrule, but with another of their franchises. What franchise would you love to have a rhythm game with amazing remixed music? Super Metroid OST remixed?
Oof.
That emoji?
Ooh, that would be good. God, that Metroid Prime music. I mean, all the Metroid music is just so good. I would love that. Now that's all I can think about. But I mean, there's obviously, I mean, Mario would be great too.
Right.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I'm trying to think if there's something a little more outside the box, but
Hiya Papaya.
I feel like you could do it with Yoshi.
Oh yeah.
Because think about if they hi-fi rushed it a bit, where like everything was forced on the beat, whether you meant to or not, and like the egg bouncing could all be rhythmic and everything like that. Like, there's an opportunity there, and that had some good music.
I like it.
All right. Kushwall's Midnight Mass says, will Tears of the Kingdom be the Breath of the Wild moment for the Zelda series? Okay, for real this time. Woof Woof, Jeff Average Energy Tank Enjoyer Grubb, and AJ Average Missile Expansion fan Minotti. Can I yell at Nintendo for releasing Metroid Prime Remastered? Because I went 5 years not giving a crap about Metroid Prime 4, but they just had to remind us how good this formula is. Have you two started thinking about what 4 could be now that we've gone back to Metroid Prime? I mean, yeah, again, this was all no accident, and they know that it's been a long time between Metroid Prime games, so this was a very smart move because this is one of the best games ever made. As far as, what it'll inform for 4, kind of like you guys again said last week, I hope that working on this remaster kind of made Retro kind of sit and be like, oh, this is why this worked. And why everyone, not that 2 and 3 were bad, but why this is the good one, and what do we take from this?
Yeah, I mean, that is the lesson I want them learning is get back to basics. Don't try to do too much with the story. The story should be something that is happening in the background, discoverable. I think I haven't read the story yet, but Polygon put out a story today. In Metroid Dread, Samus is an action hero. In Prime, she's a scientist. And it is like, it does feel like kind of, yeah, I think it's like more like a detective. You're piecing things together. You're exploring this world, trying to figure out what's going on. And that should be and she should be alone and dealing with these things. And then there should be like 1 or 2 moments where the story comes crashing into the gameplay, and maybe she does talk that one line, just like in Dread, one of the most incredible moments in games. But they should be trying to exactly nail the atmosphere that Metroid Prime went for. And if you're trying to change things up and build on that stuff, I get that the developers might feel they need to do that. I think you can, but I think it's the more reserved you are with Metroid, I think it's better served. I think Metroid Dread proved that. So just be reserved and let things break through just infrequently and make a huge impact in those 1 or 2 moments. That's the way to do it.
Perfect. All right, Vision49 says, with the recent handheld editions, have we reached the end of Nintendo Switch Online platform editions? GameCube would be next, but is the Metroid Prime Remaster evidence that they would rather sell GameCube games back to us individually? Yes. Adding GameCube games could get tricky, too, with each game hovering around 1 gigabyte. The file sizes could add up quickly as the library grows.
Yeah, they're not going to do GameCube like that. Not anytime soon.
No, yeah, I every day I feel less and less confident we're going to get a pool of GameCube games. As far as other platforms, I mean, TurboGrafx, I think, is still in the cards to come one day. I still think it's a crime that we had a 3D system and they didn't have a virtual console for the Virtual Boy.
Yep.
That someone should be in Nintendo jail for that.
Yes, not me. Someone else.
No. But I would have said Neo Geo Pocket, but they've been releasing collections of those games just kind of ad hoc for Switch and PC and elsewhere. So I don't know. Give me the TurboGrafx. Again, Neo Geo has gotten some package releases, so not that. I don't know. Maybe get some 3DO games on there. Let's go crazy.
Yeah, get crazy. I think Dreamcast is kind of the same thing with those file sizes, but I think Dreamcast is in the realm of possibility. So, but
yeah, before Saturn, which is funny, but
right, exactly, before Saturn. Although I would love Saturn too. They could do some fun stuff there.
Sure.
But Saturn emulation is much more difficult than Dreamcast. So
it's in a good spot.
It's better
if
now,
you have the hardware for it on PC. But I can see why they wouldn't want to.
Right, but that's like again, they're going to want to do the work themselves, and that makes it a little bit more challenging. But I don't know. I guess they could do that too. But I don't think any of this is going to happen before the next Switch. I think we're waiting now for quite some time.
Yeah, I think we've got what we got. So we'll see if we get Mario RPG before the next Switch.
Probably not.
All right. Hosp says, "Heyo, dogs. I'm enjoying how enigmatic Nintendo is being with Tears of the Kingdom. I want to know as little as possible going in. What about you guys?" Yeah, what do I need to know? I'm going to buy it. Like, don't tell me anything. I'm going to play the game.
Yeah,
I don't need to know anything.
Again, I'm like, other people's anxieties are a bit annoying for me when I really like something. So coming out of that last direct and people being like, that wasn't enough. What's going on? I need to know more. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess give these people more.
It's the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Did you like that game?
Yeah.
You'll probably like this one.
Right. So it's like we're in that puddle news part where it's like anything that isn't exactly in line with what you want to hear is just another reason to have anxiety about this thing. And I'm like, okay, can we just get this game out so we can get past this? But I don't need to know more. I'm ready. Just let me experience it myself. Kind of no matter what they show me, I'm going to be in that mode. Just show me myself.
Right.
I am talking about you, Mike. That's right.
Yeah. Well, he sucks.
Yeah.
The Egg Doctor says, "I'm sure that this is not a unique observation. I'm playing and loving Metroid Prime for the first time. Isn't Metroid just sci-fi Zelda? In both, you traverse a dungeon that requires unique items to make progress. What else sets them apart? This is not a slight against either series. I think what sets it apart is, whereas Zelda is very much like you're in an overworld and then you go into this one-off dungeon. The item you get in that dungeon is to solve that dungeon. Yeah. Metroid is much more a more open, connected world. You get this item, and now there's like 6 different places throughout that world that you're like, oh, I could go back and get in here, and I could go back and get in here, and that's the loop there.
Yes, I think it's slight deviations on a very similar concept, different perspectives for both the 2D games and the 3D games, where the 2D was top down for Zelda and side scrolling for Metroid, and then for 3D it was the third person perspective versus first person. But yeah, there's a ton of similarities, which is why they came to similar solutions for both of them: lock on targeting, Z targeting. It worked in both, and because these are very similar games, but there is difference in the structure, and it's like basically Metroid is a series of interconnected dungeons, whereas the Zelda is an overworld and go into dungeons, just like AJ said. And that's that is a pretty significant difference for games of these kinds.
All right, Blackheart Vinyl says, "Now that most people have played Minish Cap, can we admit the obvious, right? That Vati is way cooler than Skull Kid and should be in the next Smash?" And here's the problem with Vati, who I agree is a cool character. But it's that situation where Nintendo didn't make him, Capcom made him. And even though he's part of Zelda lore and is, shown up, he's always got that kind of stain on him that, like, well, we didn't make him. We made Skull Kid. So we got to put him in stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think that's exactly what it is. Nintendo's so weird about that stuff.
Right?
Man, I'm looking
Shot
at this next
1991. Says, while looking through my old GameCube promotional material, I came across this early subtitle for what would become 1080 Avalanche. While White Storm now sounds like the name of a sketchy website, I find these pre-release screenshots and titles fun to discover. Do you have any pre-release names for Nintendo games you remember fondly? And he has the only 4 symbol on this shot of someone snowboarding. It says 1080 White Storm. I mean, the big one for me is before the Nintendo 64.
There we go. All right, sorry, keep going.
Okay, we're back. Okay. Before the Nintendo 64 was finalized, it was called the Ultra 64. And the only real place you saw that in the wild was on Cruisin' USA cabinets that still had the Ultra 64 logo because they were already in production.
Yeah, I love that whenever I see that.
I think what other games had their title kind of subtly changed like that?
I mean, it's definitely. Conquer used to be something else before it was Bad for a Day, but that was when it was an entirely different game, right? So, nothing's coming to mind. Let's see. I'm trying to see if anyone else has anything. But yeah, White Storm is how I describe this channel to my friends, says Turbo Sean. No, White Storm does just sound like the Daily Stormer. So I'm very glad they changed that name, because it does just sound like a white supremacist group. So, yeah, absolutely. Kind Conker's 12 Tales. Was that the name of the GameCube one, or was that the name of like the Game Boy Color game or something? I can't remember now.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, Laser Wolf says, hello, Jeff, American Dream Grubb, and Mike's AJ, American Nightmare, Minotti. That's right. I played Three Houses last year, and it was my first Fire Emblem game. I absolutely loved it, and I'm loving Engage so far as well. Why are there not Fire Emblem games remastered for the Switch for people like me who missed out on previous titles? P.S. Roman is going to murder Sammy on Saturday, isn't he? Let's talk about Fire Emblem first. We'll get there. They had started remastering some games for the 3DS. We're just not to that point in the cycle yet, but I mean, is that the rumor that the next Fire Emblem is a remaster of an old title?
Yeah, it's a remake, it sounds like, of Genealogy of the Holy War. Genealogy of the Holy War. So yes.
And that was the one that introduced Ike, correct?
I don't know. I'm gonna say yes,
Mike
but
knows.
I don't know.
Mike, you can say in chat whatever it was. You know better than me. I don't keep up with the WWE like I used to. Is Roman gonna murder Sammy on Saturday?
So they're doing it in Montreal, and if they aren't going to let Sammy have the belt, which they're almost certainly not going to do because they want him to lose it at WrestleMania to Cody Rhodes, because that's the storyline they were working on anyhow before this bigger story popped up, bigger in terms of like interest from the fans. Also, they have a Saudi Arabia show coming up pretty soon, and Roman can go to Saudi Arabia. Sami Zayn cannot because of his family's religion. Which is always problematic. Right. So yeah, they're kind of like we probably just won't put the belt on someone like that, which is incredibly fucked up. But then it's okay if they're going to do that. What do? You have Roman Reigns do some fucked up shit in Montreal to get just the ultimate heat on him coming out of that. Every single Canadian on earth hates him. You take that into WrestleMania. That's going to be pretty cool. And I hope Sami Zayn just comes out looking awesome, even if he definitely is going to lose.
All right, Rihanna's baby bump says, woof woof to my dogs. I stumbled upon a video yesterday showing what happens if you quit out of Hi-Fi Rush right before the boss fight. When you load back into the hideout, you get secret dialogue asking where you've been, why did you leave at such a crucial moment, you ruined the climax, etc. Just awesome tongue-in-cheek stuff that was completely unnecessary. Are there any Nintendo games that you remember other than Rusty's Real Deal Baseball that had fun attention to detail bits like this? Thanks as always. Have a great weekend. Did you ever play the Daffy Duck Amuck game for the Nintendo DS?
I have. I love that game. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, it did a great thing where if you close the DS, which typically put a game to sleep, instead you would hear Daffy still inside, like, you know, shouting, "Hey, open up! I'm still in here."
Good. It's a great game. It's an all-time classic. People should play that.
Yeah, I mean, it's calling it a game is almost generous. It's just like an interactive experience, like an art piece in a weird way. But yeah, it was so fun to goof off in that. That was a neat thing that it did. Yeah, attention to detail. I mean, it's hard for me to remember examples like that. I do love that Rusty's Real Deal Baseball one though, where it's where you could see him inside the store and stuff like that, and he just looks so especially because what you could do is you talk him down in price. And so he's like, the entire time he's talking about how he's trying to feed his family, how everything's like he's destitute, and you're like, well, I don't know if I want to pay $4 real world dollars for this game. What if I just paid $2? And he's like, listen, this is gonna put me out of house and home. And so you paid $2, and then you go play baseball, and you can look at the background and see him in the store, and he's like crying and stuff. So no, I can't think of anything other than Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. But there you go. There it is. Mike is saying in chat he wants me to correct I said the wrong Fire Emblem, and I'm not going to. Moving on. Clink says, hello, AJ, what is Love Minotti? And Jeff, let me check the game browser Grubb. Yes. Besides the Xbox GoldenEye remake and now Mike, is there anything else that will never officially escape the Nintendo vault to see the light of day? Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Well, apparently the Virtual Boy. Yeah, I mean... We're not going to get those games in any official capacity. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. Things are going to stay in the vault. I don't know. It's always going to be the weird ones that have the licensing issues that are. Even then, they could still pop up. But yeah, it's gonna, or the stuff where there's work to be done for translation, or maybe the translations or localizations that have some problematic issues that they're just going to keep to the side, which is probably one of the reasons that Mother 3 has not been released. Yep. All right, Big Tony says, my dogs. Sorry to be a bummer, Tada. think he meant today, by bringing up real life. But I have to ask, how are you guys holding up? I know you mentioned briefly on Thursday you guys are away from the derailment, but I do scroll a lot, and I want to check in on my dogs. Promise to go back to regular shenanigans next time. Sending love. Yeah, it's shitty. I mean, we're fine so far. We're far enough away that we're not like immediately impacted by it, but who knows what long-term effects this is going to have. I mean, I definitely feel like there's been a lot of negligence, and a lot of people are going to get away with stuff that they should not be allowed to get away with because the government's not going to do anything about it. So that's cool. That's good. Great.
It sucks.
Good job, everybody. But it's cool. Everyone got a check for $1,000, so that's what their lives are worth, and life will go on. It'll be fine.
Did they actually get checks for $1,000? Because wasn't it originally going to be like $5 each?
Yeah,
or something?
I think they upped it to 1,000, and
it's
that makes it all better.
It is bananas. The day that they did that controlled burn and put all that hydrochloric acid into the atmosphere, which bonds with water and is going to like eat away at like cars, like clear coats, let alone what it's going to do to humans when it drops this acid rain. It blew towards Lake Erie, and a lot of it landed in Lake Erie. So now that's just in my drinking water. And fucking cool.
I mean, maybe we'll get superpowers.
I guess that's the hope. It's a true nightmare. It is. And AJ said it. It seems like people are just not gonna. The people that are responsible are gonna do the bare minimum and downplay it. And politicians and the media so far have just been buying it, hook, line, and sinker. And it's very frustrating because we know that they're not telling the full truth. And the only party that is speaking on it is that company. It just sucks. But what can we do about it?
All right. Well, the Jat in the Hat says, "Hey Jeff, thank you, Super Mario Bros. Grubb. And AJ, it seems like the only thing you haven't drained is my bank account, Minotti." I'm going to come back to that in a second. It is surprising there's no Mario sports game coming this June because there has been for the past 2 years. What do you think is next for Mario Sports? I think it's baseball.
I think it's probably baseball. Yeah.
But yeah, that's no. Let me go back because
what other
this is a point of contention for Mike and I.
I'm trying to think of what other thing they could do other than baseball. I guess it could I could do that wrestling game finally. I don't know. Maybe like for instead of doing Punch Out with all the characters that were stereotypes, maybe they could do a Mario Punch Out and have Mario box a bunch of characters like that or something like that. But they're probably doing baseball.
All right, let's go back to this because Mike and I were complaining about this. But when you see Super Mario and then BROS, what do you say out loud?
Wait. What's the question? Sorry.
If you are reading a gaming magazine, you're reading your old Nintendo Power, and they write secret strategies for Super Mario, and then the word BROS, and you're reading that out loud. What do you say?
Most of the time, I'm gonna say brothers.
I always say brothers because that's in the song. It's right there. So
Mario Brothers.
Mike was now again when he told me this, I didn't know this commercial happened still. So I didn't realize this was a thing in the commercial, but I'm going to, in my headcanon, to save my sanity, assume that this lady, who clearly doesn't know her lines, says the wrong thing, and that's the joke. And they're going to correct her in the film. Because it's not bros, it's brothers. It's not Smash Bros, it's Smash Brothers. So let's get it right, everybody.
Come on, get on the right page. Stick with us.
Yeah, be on the right side of history for once.
Be a professional. Come on. Yes, that's... Mario Bros always sounds weird to me. Always sounds weird.
And like Mike says, the period is important. Yes, there should be a period at the end of the bros bit.
Yeah.
All right, Bench JC says, "Hey Jeff and Mike's brother, that's me. Do you think we get Prime 2 and 3 this year before Prime 4? I'm playing Prime 1 for the first time right now, and it's great. I'd like to play the other two before 4. I mean, I think you get them before 4. I don't know if it's this year for both of them.
Yeah, I kind of think that we get Metroid Prime 4 announced here pretty soon, like with a date. Not like super soon, but relatively soon in terms of like the grand scale of the next year or so. And then I do think they got to have 2 and 3 out before then. I think that's ideal.
Now, do you think my think would be cool is if it's like they have the finally the big coming out party for Prime 4. It's like, here's the trailer, blah blah blah. Oh my God, coming this fall. Also, on the eShop today, Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remastered for $70 bundled together.
Yeah,
and maybe that's how they go about it.
Entirely possible. Yeah, I think they will probably have some sort of run-up marketing. But I said the same thing about Zelda and Tears of the Kingdom with those with the GameCube remasters, or I'm sorry, the Wii U remasters.
Right.
And that didn't happen. So what do I know?
That's true. And it's not like I would not think you need to play 2 and 3 to probably get out of 4 what you need.
I really think one's going to be what matters. Yes.
Yeah. Lausian says, "Hello, gents. 2 questions today, one for each of you. Jeff, where is Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD?" Well, we kind of just answered that. Mike, well, I'll pretend you said AJ. Inspired by the Dark Side of the Moon question, what do you think is Disney's John Carter of video games? What do you think is the Disney's John Carter of video games is for Nintendo? An overall gaming Callisto Protocol comes to mind, but we will see if it can escape that fate.
How do you feel about John Carter? I like John Carter.
I never saw it, actually, so I don't have a strong opinion on it. So I'm trying to think how to frame this in my head to get a satisfactory answer. I don't know. Hasn't like Yoshi kind of become their John Carter? Like it should be this big thing, but it's always a little disappointing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. That's a good one. It's not quite as big as John Carter was a major big budget thing. And I just don't know how many big budget Nintendo games are misfires on that scale. Frankly, how many big budget Nintendo games are there? There's only a handful, like Mario, Zelda. Right. And they don't do much beyond that because they save their budgets for Mario and Zelda. And the rest of them are like these fun, smaller things that people go nuts for, but they're like, you could tell they spend their money judiciously on those projects. So Nintendo is just not the kind of company that's going to make a lot of John Carters.
Right. All right. Some guy named Tolkoto
Wii Music.
Says,
there you go. Brett Cocker. Wii Music. That's it. Thank you, Brett Cocker.
What is the 5th best Zelda game? All right. Let's work backwards.
Okay.
So we got...
We don't have to rank it, but in the top like 3 or 4, let's get Link's Awakening in there for me.
I'm getting the 5. I'm getting. Okay. I can do this.
I'm just gonna shut up and let this man work. Oh, hey, hold up! Let him cook. Let him cook.
Because Breath of the Wild, Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds, Link's Awakening. That leaves me to. God, I think. Get ready, everybody. I think it's Skyward Sword.
Really?
No. I take that back. It's Wind Waker. But wait, that's not the 5th best one, is it? Yeah, it is. It's the 5th best one.
Okay, so what's 1 through 4?
So Breath of the Wild, Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds, Link's Awakening, Wind Waker. There's your 5.
I think I probably agree. That's probably right. Jeez,
I'm wise. I'm very wise.
Mike Minotti says, "Oh, I actually can't read that. It's fuzzy for some reason."
Blurred out. Weird.
Yeah. All right.
Saclin says, "Hey guys, not really a question, but I just realized with Metroid Fusion, Metroid Prime 4, and the rumored Metroid Prime 2 and 3 port remasters, that leaker has some shaky Metroid Leaks history." I agree. Never trust that guy.
No, I don't.
We will have all the main Metroid franchise available on the Switch. What a time for Metroid fans. That is true. It was kind of fun when you realize, we were, for a while there, if you wanted all the Zelda games, you needed a Wii U. That's where they all were. That was literally the only place you could have every Zelda game for a while. And if that does happen, we need Fusion, we need Zero Mission, which were both in some leaks I've seen. So I'm sure
Fusion is part of the Game Boy Advance games that are coming. Zero Mission is the one. It's not.
Zero Mission,
it's remake of 1, and we do have 1. So technically.
Yeah, and then, if you want to get really technical, we do need, I guess, Samus Returns from the 3DS.
Yes, right. But we still have the whole series. We just don't have all of the remakes then.
All the permutations, yes.
No, Other M is not a video game. Shut up, Mike Minotti. Shut up.
Oh, yeah. See, that should show you where that game is in my head. So I didn't even think of it.
The whole main series will be on the Switch. That's right.
Yes. Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, that is fun to say.
Yeah, right.
Now that Mike is on assignment today, I have to ask Jeff, did Mike talk about his penis as much as he does now when you first met him, or did he ease you into it? Not a Nintendo question, but one that's been on my mind for a while.
First of all, let's not talk about him easing anything in regarding his penis, okay? Jesus.
I would just like to remind everybody once again that Mike's family does listen to this show.
Let's see. I think he probably talked about his penis at least a couple times early in those early days. Yeah, I don't think he's ever been too shy about that stuff. So yeah, not as much, but he definitely did.
Yeah. All right. Fish and Love says, "Hello, Jeff. I'm gonna put a game nobody knows at number 3, Grubb." And okay, this is crossed out. Mike can't have a top 100 without Quackshot Minotti. That's true. to instead, AJ, please do a top 100 games so we can roast you, Minotti. I mean, just so you can roast me? I mean, I'll do
that's
a
all,
list.
That's all that
I'll
it
go over to
does.
Mike's and do a
I had
list.
so many replies when I posted mine on Twitter. I did not read 99% of them because I'm like, this is just going to be people getting mad at me.
Oh, I crave their tears.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Nintendo's release calendar for 2023 is both firmly set in stone for the first half of the year and completely blank for the second half. Prime 4 is our only announced game without a release date, and it's not coming out this year. Therefore, it is safe to assume we're getting between 3 to 6 unannounced first-party games this year. What will they be? Prime 2 and 3, new Pokemon already, Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD, Xenoblade Chronicles Export, 3DS ports, new Mario, F-Zero, Star Fox. Please give us your dream and a realistic lineup. You know what? We didn't even talk about that. We're talking about other platforms for NSO was DS and 3DS. We forgot that existed.
I just dual screen stuff in general is going to be really hard to just do as a Nintendo Switch Online because it's going to require more work to preserve. Hey, Fisher Love, not to pick on you, but let's guys. There's a lot of questions coming in. Let's try to shorten them up in the future, 1 or 2 lines in the future. But because I'm looking at this, that's a whole paragraph. But yeah. Good question. We just got to keep them short so we can keep the show moving. Let's see. So the question is basically.
What's coming out the second half of the year? I mean, Pikmin 4 is in the second half, and
technically, yeah, it's because that's going to kick it off in July, right? So then we go from that. We will get we'll get Pokemon DLC. I think that we might still get because as summer comes around, you could probably do Mario Baseball then, right? I guess if they have a direct in June. They could announce it right then and then release it a month later. So it's coming out in July, right with the season or something like that. I guess the season will be started by then. I guess they probably wouldn't need to time Mario Baseball with the start of the baseball season. So I still feel like there's a chance it can come out.
They never do.
Yeah, so I think things like that. Probably nothing too big, too surprising, but I don't know. There's some good chances that we will get. So, yeah, F-Zero I think is a good one. I think F-Zero comes out and it's probably a GX remake or something like that. But it's going to be things along those lines.
Okay. All right, we got a lightning round these last few because there's still a good number left. So let's go. Ready? The Balin Wolf 5 says, "Hey Jeff, I lost the bet, so now I have to suffer through Balin as you have, Grubb and Mike. Thank God he's not here, so we don't yell at each other about Sama de Amigo Minotti. Bench JC says he hates Tetris. What do you think caused such an awful take to grow, and what steps can we take to prevent this in the future? Also, what's your all favorite Tetris?" I mean, he's an awful person. I don't know.
So what else can we say?
That's just it. And the best version of Tetris is the original Game Boy one because it's got the best song. Although Tetris Effect is also good.
Tetris Effect is probably my favorite now. I love it.
Yeah. Chrono Brown says, this question is specifically for Mike Duck Life Minotti. Well, he's not here. Earlier today, Don Rosa reportedly announced that Disney issued him a statement that they would no longer permit the publishing of 2 parts of the life and times of Scrooge McDuck going forward, including the final issue. What's up with that? And why aren't there more Duck games? Each one is an all-time classic. I don't know. I hadn't heard about that. That sucks. That's a good book.
We no longer permit the publishing of 2 parts. What does that mean? 2 parts of? Is it a 2-part book or something? It's
an omnibus? Is that
omnibus? 2 volumes, 2-volume omnibus or whatever.
Yeah. So something like that. So you could probably just find it online. It's cool.
Yeah.
You should read it though. Why are there more Duck games? You got to sell these things, and what has broad appeal. Someday we might get some. So here's hope. I
mean, I will say, John Drake has straight up just said on Twitter things like he's out there trying to make as many deals as he can, and the biggest struggle he seems to be having is there's just not a lot of developers out there that have free time to take on a new project, and that seems to be the issue for something like this. I bet you asked John Drake, you want to do a duck game based on the Duck family, and I bet he's got
the
Duckland. I think he's there's 3 ideas there that we want to do. Find me a developer if you can, and they just don't exist.
Yep. Mr. Bowler says, "Hey Jeff, it's my top 100 list. Damn it, Grubb and AJ. Going to have to explain to his wife why he's spending Valentine's Day with Jeff Minotti. Oh, she knows." She knows. If Yoko Taro was to make a follow-up to 404 Game Reset, where he turns Nintendo franchises into hot anime babes in a gacha game, how many hours would it take before you're taking out a second mortgage to feed your addiction? AJ, feel free to answer on behalf of Mike. Oh, Mike he'd be living with me.
Be in the basement, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be right there with him.
The basement's mine. He could share a room with Walter.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much instantaneously. I gotta get them waifus. We get a waifu of Rusty's Real Deal Baseball.
All right, Benji Glasky says, "No, Mike. What's your most embarrassing Mike moment?" Oh, there's a lot. It's hard to pick just one. Probably when our dad fictitiously said that we would only go to Disney World the 1 year if he rode all 3 of the mountains, and Mike just said yes, assuming he wouldn't actually make him, and then he did. And he tried to get out of going on Space Mountain by first just going into a bathroom stall and not coming out.
Hell yeah.
For like 30 minutes. So then we finally got... Oh, that's a good one too. I'll tell that too. But then once he got on Space Mountain, I mean, he was like 12, so not like a little kid, but during the ride, he just starts screaming, "Make it stop, Dad! Make it stop!" Now, this was done so that hopefully we wouldn't make him go on Splash Mountain based on his negative reaction to Space Mountain, which we did anyway. So he I don't know where that picture is. I wish I could find it, but it's like me going down Splash Mountain, like hands up, and him just like buried in my armpit, like terrified.
I love it.
But yes, also on his birthday once, after eating a whole lot of wings, he was sitting at the bar, and like when midnight hit and it was like his birthday, without me realizing it, like 7 people bought him a shot, and he just did them all. And then like 20 minutes later, he just puked all over the bar and on our buddy's girlfriend, who just the fastest I've ever seen anyone get up and run away from a scene in my life. So that was pretty good. It was just, you know, like undigested chicken wings all over the bar.
Yeah, I had
a
a birthday like that where I was out, my brother was like mostly taking care of me, and then someone bought me like a shot of 151, and that's not a great shot to take when you've been drinking all night. And I took that and went down, and it immediately went basically just right back up with a bunch more stuff with it. So that wasn't good. I did the same thing with sake later that night. I got some. I did not expect warm sake, and that went in and went right back out. So, and then I went home. So yeah.
AJ is allowed to do this show anymore. Sure, I can. You can't stop me. Octo says, yo, Jeff, my hair died and came back as Metroid Prime Remastered Grubb. And AJ, this podcast isn't big enough for me this podcast isn't big enough for more than one Disney adult crossed out Minotti. Do y'all have any music that goes great with racing games? Nothing gets my blood pumping like the Red Line theme called Yellow Line with Burnout Games. P.S. Crimes. I mean, legal emulation channel on the Discord? Maybe. Okay, here's my answer. So... remember how the PlayStation would do that thing where for certain games, if it already loaded, you could take the disc out and then put in another disc that was just an audio CD and it would start playing that music because that's just what it was looking for the music tracks. So I had, what was that, like enhanced version of Ridge Racer 1 that ran at 60 FPS that came with Ridge Racer 4?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't remember what it was called.
It had a name. I forget the exact name. But
either.
So I had that, and my mom had the Ricky Martin's album that had Livin' La Vida Loca on it.
Yeah.
And because it had to be the right track, and fortunately Livin' La Vida Loca was the right track that game was looking for, so that played while you're racing at Ridge Racer. That was pretty fun. But then when you got to like the race results screen, that would usually be a different track. It happened to be the Spanish version of Livin' La Vida Loca. So it really just flowed very, very well.
That's incredible. I think you just get the Cruise and Blast theme, you play it on repeat no matter what racing game you're playing. There you go.
DMC Depressed Me Crying says, hello, Jeff. Tommy Tallarico heard me talking shit, so he convinced his biggest fan, Shigeru Miyamoto, to delay Metroid Prime, which was entirely designed with his sound effects to screw me over. Grubb. And AJ, Mama Nadi's favorite son, Minotti. That's true. Is it possible Nintendo held off on Wind Waker and Twilight Princess remasters as of yet because of the expected lengthy time between Tears of the Kingdom and whatever the next Zelda ends up being? If they're reusing so much of Breath of the Wild and it took this long, are we looking at 8 to 10 years before the next thing? I mean, that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, they've been holding on to stuff for so long. I mean, that's another piece of evidence for that. When Metroid Prime Remastered came out, the German sort of equivalent to ESRB released their notes on it, and the game was submitted to them in 2021. So in 2021, Nintendo was submitting a completed version of this game, or most completed version of this game for rating, and then we didn't get it till 2023. So like that's how long they hold on to these things. I think they're already holding on to those games. They're looking for the right spot for them. Maybe they did decide like, well, you know what? It might have made sense at one point when we were going to do Tears of the Kingdom here. We could have done it there. But now things have moved around. We want to save these. And now we're going to put this in May. And we're looking at the schedule. We got Metroid Prime Remastered coming. Let's just fill it in with these games. And then we'll save these for another time. I think it's entirely possible. I still think that collection is done and just sitting there. And I don't know what compels them to finally put it out.
Mm-hmm. All right, Pablo Cost says, hello, Beef and Cheddar Perros. I just want to know if Jeff muttered the words son of a bitch after the Metroid Prime Remaster reveal, and then again when they said it was shadow dropping. Thanks.
I mean, you could watch the Giant Bomb talk over where we do it. You could see mostly what happens is me watching. I see that slide come up, and before they say anything, I just slump in my chair like Admiral Akbar when in Return of the Jedi when the Super Star Destroyer falls into the Death Star or whatever. And I'm just like, ah, yes,
we did it
exactly, and that's the best I could do.
Plain Shane says, AJ, is there any way we can get you Minotti brothers on Twitch doing the Futureport 82 Epcot walkthrough? I'd love to hear a full 90s Disney version with the usual jolly stories from all three of you. Yeah, I think we can make that happen.
I would love to see that. That'd be great.
That'd be a good bonus episode for us to do maybe next month. So
that'd be great.
We'll work on that. All right, Dan Park says, what gaming fraud do you want to see H-Bomber guy dive down a rabbit hole for next? I mean, Billy Mitchell, right?
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, Billy Mitchell's well-covered territory, so I wondered if he'll want to do that, but I think he would do a great job, so I would watch it. But yeah, I don't know. There's all kinds of fun stuff out there. It's hard to say. Billy Mitchell would be good, though.
JD Camp says, what are Wario's plans for Valentine's Day? Oh, just inhaling garlic.
Yes, just
all the garlic.
Chocolate-covered garlic, like chocolate-covered strawberries, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. There you go. Keywork says, hey, AJ, thank God Mike is out Grubb, and AJ, the best Minotti. Regarding the Super Mario film, I have a question. Would you accept this as the look of the Super Mario IP going forward based upon the short bits you've seen? I'm all in, but I don't know if that's because of the drought of 2D, 3D Mario content, and I'm desperate, or if it's truly top tier. Thanks. I've wondered this myself, and I'm of two minds, because I've long said, like, maybe Mario's time for, like, a redesign, or, like, a rethink of the style, but, like, if this is the movie now, it's not really going anywhere. And I don't know, maybe they do just adopt this as, like, a kind of a refresh, but it's still familiar, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's a bad idea. I think you got to keep it separate. I think Nintendo Mario games should have their own life, and then the movies have their own life. And, of course, there's obviously they are basically the same thing, but I don't think the games should ever be taking cues from the movies.
All right. Ziliax002 says, co-host, if you had to pick a game for Jeff to go back in time and embed with the team for the complete development of said game, what would it be? Same question for Jeff regarding co-host. Example, Jeff has to go back in time to witness the development of Bubsy 3D.
Oh my God.
P.S. You're going to do it this week, Jeff. Love you.
Thank you.
I would send you back in time. I would send you back in time to work on Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, because you would make it even more fucked up than it already is. You would just have, if Jeff Grubb goes back in time with what he knows now to work on Rusty's, you would, like, win the World Series, and then, like, there'd be the parade, and Rusty would be, like, dead in a gutter in the background. Dead
in a gutter. The starting price for what you could pay would be $1,000 instead of whatever it is, like 8 or 12 or whatever it is. I'd be like, no, we got to get nuts here. I want these people working hard to talk this price down. They're only going to end up paying $2, but I want them to know they could pay $1,000 if they really want to be fucked up. Yeah, that would be, yes, let me do that. Absolutely. Also, if I was there for Bubsy 3D, I would probably try to sabotage the game to stop it from ever
just
coming
delete
out.
The source code.
Just delete all of it. Set the computers on fire at night when no one's there, of course. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. Love you, Bend. You were very funny.
It'd be like Fight Club, but instead of erasing credit scores, you're erasing Bubsy 3D from existence.
Yeah. So then, what would I send AJ back to? I would send you back to Epic Mickey to maybe just give Warren Spector some pointers.
There you go. I'll fix that game up.
Just shore a few things up. Just tell him, like, listen, you're on the right path. Just a few things here and there. I think you could probably give him some pointers, help him out.
There you go. I like that. Last one from Dugan. Dear Dad Dogs, why is it more fun to organize games than playing them? Have I aged into a new phase of adult gaming? See Top 100 Games, GG, random Google spreadsheets. Here's why. When you're an adult and you have to do adult things, you can't play games all the time, but you can think about them all the time. This is why, for a lot of RPGs, my favorite part of them is theory crafting a build and not actually getting there, because I can do that whenever.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, part of playing games is talking about them. So, what makes games fun is their experiences you can share with other people, and that's true for even single-player games. So, sitting there thinking about your stuff and then bringing those conversations to other people, that is one way that adults, engage with that. I mean, I remember talking about that with Steven Spahn when he was like that. Why do you think so many people with disabilities love video games? So I'm just saying, it's an escape. He's like, no, it's social currency. It gives me something to talk about with my friends and a way to spend time with my friends, and even in single player games, stuff that we can, like, commonly bond over. And that continues long after you're done playing it. Even if you only played it for a little bit, thinking about it's still fun. Also, if you like setting things up more than playing with stuff, Animal Crossing. That is Animal Crossing. That's what that game is. It's a game of setting stuff up and never playing with the actual things you're setting up. It's incredible.
All right. That's it.
All right. Wow. It's a lot of questions, everybody. That's
the record.
Yes, I think so. It's a beefy list of questions. Thank you, everybody, who submitted a question. AJ, I got a few more super chats. I figure we just check in so we don't forget them.
Yes, we do super chats and get to some box art.
Yeah, let's do it. So, all right, let's see here. I'm going to work backwards. From L. Grug, AJ tier list of the Minottis win. Can you just...
Yeah, I'll take over Mike's Twitch and we'll do it. You know, it'll be me at the top and him at the bottom. We'll just see who falls in the middle.
Yeah, well, perfect, wonderful. Narwhal Gaming Variety says Federation Force Remastered to kick off Metroid Prime 4 hype. Yeah, I guess why not? Why not? Listen, after Metroid Prime 1, I'm willing to forgive anything. So sure, let's do it. From Burrito, here's my corrected super chat question for AJ: which of the two Minottis is more assimilated and successful Italian? Which one of you is assimilated in society as an Italian more?
Look, I'm the one who likes spicy foods. I think I win by default. You know, I'm the only one who can eat the spicy meatball.
Yeah, exactly. From Jackson Tench, thanks for keeping me entertained during this mad week, dudes. What Switch case / grip do you use? I
have mine. It's upstairs. It's the
Satisfy.
What's it called? Yes, thank you. The Satisfy.
That's the one I recommend.
Was an original. Yeah, I was a Kickstarter backer, the OG. I was very excited when they finally released their OLED upgrade, and yeah, I can't play the Switch without that thing. I like it very much.
I use kind of whatever's available to me at the time. I have my Satisfy grip somewhere, but right now I've been using this softer one mostly. And honestly, the biggest reason I use it is because these Joy-Cons just slide off now. They're so insecure, and I just hate that feeling so goddamn much. So I just slide this thing on there and we've been playing with it. It's not as comfortable as the Satisfy, but it is like rubbery and kind of low profile. So when I need to take it off to slide it in, because I do still have to take this one off to dock it, it's like not that big a deal. I just set it off to the side and it's not in the way or anything. So I don't even know what the brand is. It was one of Steph's deals on her Twitter page, her daily delivery and deals thing, and I just picked it up there. So yeah. All right, so let's see. Another one. Oh, Burrito. That was his first question. Was that and it wasn't correct, so he corrected it. But thank you for that other super chat. Nintenderic. The more they add to Nintendo Switch Online, the more noticeable the lack of licensed games become. We will get some licensed games on Nintendo Switch Online eventually, right? Game Boy Advance has a ton of good ones, and so does Super Nintendo and Nintendo Switch Online. And Nintendo Switch Online needs them.
It depends. It depends how much Nintendo's willing to pay for those licenses.
And the answer is obviously not a lot.
With.
They're just not going to pay a lot. So I just don't think this is going to happen. Because you have to, like, they're not willing to pay the licensing fee to Square Enix for Super Mario RPG. What are you going to do when you add on? Look, so now you got to pay a third party because most of those licensed games were made by a third party. So you got to pay a third party developer, third party publisher, and the license holder, and you got to get them all to agree. And that's like a lot of work. So it's a lot of overhead.
A lot of work.
It's just not worth it. Yes, exactly. They're not going to do it. From Mike Minotti, I think Vati was in Four Swords first. Mike, thank you for the super chat, true? Mike Minotti. I don't know.
Thanks for giving yourself money that is getting deducted from you.
I'm going to keep that entire super chat just for myself, just to make that feel right. And Jay Arthur, hello Nintendogs, with Ghost Trick and Etrian Odyssey, DS games, getting ports. Could N bring DS games to Nintendo Switch Online eventually, probably next gen? We talked about this. It's just a lot more work. It's worth it if you're selling the games again with a full price, but I don't know if it's worth it for Nintendo Switch Online. The idea of Nintendo Switch Online is, here's $20 a year, maybe $50 a year, and here's a very low effort thing from Nintendo for the most part. Like, yeah, we put in a little bit of extra work into the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance emulators, but that's a one-time investment, and now every single ROM we bring in just works, and so that sort of just pays for itself. They're not gonna. I mean, having to if they had to do extra work for every single game on these other platforms, we would not have Nintendo Switch Online the way that we have it. From Daniel Park, official petition to remove Mike from the show. Oh, no, from the show permanently. You know what? I'm glad I read that one again. Sorry, Mike. All right, that catches up on the super chats. Let's get to the box arts, and let me bring this up for everybody while I get this framed up.
Let me.
Yep, no problem.
I can see what you're.
Actually, you know what? Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back, everybody.
Let's do that. Okay.
Okay. There we go. All right, so if you got to use the potty or anything, AJ, you can do that now while I get this set up.
I am actually doing okay.
All right.
I would go get something to drink, but I don't want to rouse up the dog, so I'm just going to kind of tough it out.
Okay. Let me...
I should have thought ahead. I should have brought my big glass of water down.
And this is so much more convenient. I'm so glad we did this. Oh, damn it. There we go. Bring it in here.
I don't know if you've noticed my face going dim and bright, but
hey, switching between the tabs, yeah.
No. So I have my new monitor. I got the LG C2.
Oh.
And it's wonderful, and it's doing something I've never seen it do, where it's slowly dimming as we're recording, which I thought I turned off. And once it gets so dim and I can't see anymore, I just like turn on the settings screen and it comes back.
Oh wow!
Like I'm moving the mouse and stuff. I don't know why it's doing that. It's never done before, but very strange. But boy, this thing is nice. Oh my god, is it nice?
Yeah, I mean that's a luxurious monitor. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it's now got everything hooked up to it. It's the PC, the Switch, the Xbox, the PlayStation.
That's fantastic.
I won the 50-50 at the that beer fest that you weren't able to come to. So that
oh cool,
that went towards it. Yes, yeah,
that's very cool.
So that's pretty rad.
All right, you can bring us back in whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, and 3, 2. Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about some box arts. Look at that. I saw one right there. It went away. Come back, box art.
There it is.
We're going to talk about you. Mario Luigi Dream Team. This was submitted by Bugadillo, who said, never owned a 3DS, but I also often dream of many Luigis, so this one hits different. You know, for some of us, the year of Luigi never ended, and this is the epitome of that.
Yeah, this is actually a fantastic box art. I'm a big fan of this. This is Dream Team is a pretty okay game. It's a bit too talky in some sections, especially when they're explaining every little thing. But boy, it's a great looking game, and this cover art is very good. This Mario and Luigi art is it's like painterly, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. DMC Depressed Me Crying submits Cooking Mama 4, or Mommer 4 if you're British. Looking at this helps me imagine I have a motherly figure who is happy to see me and tells me that she loves me and is proud of me. She made cookies, come have some while they're still hot. Yeah, my issue with this is that like she looked too young to be a mama. I don't know, it looks like a kid.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it's fine. Is this the one that would mine crypto, or that was a Switch game, wasn't it? So okay, this one's fine.
All right, Chaos Buckaroo submits Fire Emblems Echo Shadow of Valentia. He says this belongs in the Louvre.
It's beautiful. It's a good looking cover.
Nice
I'm like almost want to go back to Echoes and all those the followed up to Awakening, because I'm like I played it but I didn't beat it, and I'm like maybe it's time to go back, but we'll see.
All right, Screaming Madden actually has what is my pick as well, so we'll go ahead and reveal that now. But he says, never owned a 3DS, but I really like the box art for Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I like that Luigi's grabbing the 3DS bar in fear, going, the fuck? I'm haunting Ghost 12 years later on my year? But no, this is great because of the way he's like holding on to the 3DS little sidebar thing. It's perfect. I love it. I love Luigi's Mansion. The way they animate Luigi in those games is amazing, and I like this box art a lot.
Oh my god.
What?
The next one. I'm sorry. If this is it.
Okay. Oh, I just looked at it.
Sorry. Yeah. If this is the next one on the list, I think it is. But this is good.
Rihanna's Baby Bump says, I mean, it's the obvious answer, right? It's the Konami's Mega Best of the Konami's Best of Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, which is a real product, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
Check
it out, dude.
But then he goes on, but seriously, the Majora's Mask box art absolutely rules, and it is a very good Zelda box art.
Yes, that looks great.
Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, just a reminder that this is a thing that happened, and that there was a system bundled with a black case apparently, and that is Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D.
And look how cool this is.
And Man, that's a port that shouldn't have worked, but really did.
Yeah, it's like a great way to play that game. I've only dabbled with this version of it, but whenever I play it, I'm like, wow, this is surprisingly good. I'm gonna play. This is how I'm gonna play through it.
Yeah, if you go to the next picture, they did like a black 3DS with the game, and
that's right.
Instead of the white sidebar, it's the black sidebar.
That's
cool. It's pretty cool. Tink says, not the best image quality, but I love how the Japanese version of A Link Between Worlds makes it very clear that it's a sequel to A Link to the Past. NOA put a gold filter over this and called it a day. So yeah, so the Japanese box art is what you see here. The American box art, it kind of has like a gold sepia, like almost like it's holofoiled, which I kind of like because it kind of like harkens back to the gold cartridges. So like that doesn't bother me. But yeah, they're both good. They're both good.
I do like that too.
You can see like 2D Link on that wall right there. You've got the Master Sword in the forest. It looks great.
Yeah, and I something about just having a big number 2 on a Zelda game. To be like, yeah, this is a sequel to Link to the Past. So, like something about that is very neat to me. Like, I don't even like there was the Link's Awakening, or I'm sorry, the Legend of Zelda 2, Link's Adventure. Then it was like a Roman numeral 2. So something about just having the Arabic 2 just looks strange, but I like it.
Yeah. Sans Mike name says just I thought you liked 2s. You're the one who likes numbers.
You're the 2 guy. You're a GameCube guy, the 2 guy.
Just look at my boy Pikachu's cute little dumper.
Yeah, he's got a real badonkadonk. Yeah, I love that. He's got those fluffy bloomers. Yeah, I like it.
That's right. The Ball and Wolf 5 says, this box art has Lucina, and I like Lucina. In all seriousness, the composition of the art is god tier, and that is Fire Emblem Awakening. Which it's cool. Like the, you know, as someone who works in a little bit of design, the dynamic lines of this art is very good.
Yeah, the sense of motion is very evocative. It's very cool.
Lucina, I'm sorry, fuck off. I've been talking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Lay off. You don't treat Menottis as well. You treat you don't treat this Menotti that way.
I'm the oldest. I demand respect, damn it. Evo Janis has Zelda Triforce Heroes. Never actually played this game, but the box art looks fun. Blue looks like a clone of green, but red has a cape and crown and belt buckle and has a Triforce on it. Intriguing. It does a good job of like making them look like kind of Huey, Dewey, and Louing them, where they have a little bit of unique personality, each of them. So that's fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
Matt Rare Monkey says the US version was posted earlier, but the EU version is where it is at for me, and that is also Fire Emblem Awakening. So I don't like it as much. I like the full image of the American version.
Yeah, it's busier and yet it works. I get that. Like this is like emphasizing the logo, which is it's a very good logo, and this one feels more like conservative in some good ways. But I think that original American box art was actually perfect.
Wong GIFs has Kirby Triple Deluxe, continuing the tradition of Kirby being unreasonably angry on box art. Truly terrifying and presumably the last thing that many of the inhabitants of Dreamland will ever see, as the Dark God Kirby destroys and consumes all on his path. That is true.
Destroy.
You can imagine like seeing that as you're sucked into a black hole.
Yeah, and like you know that like if he swallows you, he could turn you into a star, which is like what is going on inside that mouth? Only God knows. Only God is able to withstand it. So.
God knows, because Kirby swallowed him and turned him into a star.
Exactly, yes.
Let's see. Velocity Prime 1 has Kid Icarus Uprising. He says, it's Kid Icarus Uprising so clean and charming.
Yes,
that's good. Is that the box art? Or is that what is? Because I don't see the. I
bet that's essentially what the box art is. It's just with the logo on there. But yeah, that's really good.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Bowler has Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo 3DS. Had a better box art than its Wii U counterpart. It might be my favorite box art in the series. And while there are a lot of angry eyes, our boy Kirby isn't one of them. That's funny, actually. Everyone else looks pissed off, but Kirby's having a good old time in the back there.
Right. That's probably Sakurai getting a say for once on that, because it's the Smash Brothers. That's completely under his purview.
That's right. Turbo-san has 4 here, and where he says, I just think they're neat, and I see what you did. They're the new Nintendo 3DS only games. Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, Fire Emblem Warriors, Minecraft Pocket Edition, and Runbow Pocket.
No, we're doing that next week as a separate system. Sorry.
Alan Wake 2 says Rhythm Paradise Mega Mix.
Yes.
Which that's good. Those are good boys and girls on that cover right there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's very good.
Drewman has Metroid Prime 2 or Metroid Samus Returns. He says another week, another Metroid. This time it's the reverse OG art from the special edition of Metroid Mommy Dom Returns. What a badass callback to the original game. Damn, I wish Nintendo would do this for Prime. So yeah, you can see the kind of comparison there, and that's real good, real well done.
Yeah, it's really nice, and the iconic Samus pose.
Mm-hmm. Bayleaf Moon, easily Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Not only the best Pokemon games, I want war, but when you put both box arts together, they revealed the hidden third legendary. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, neat.
That is cool. I never noticed that. This is the Japanese box art, so I don't know if that was. It must have been unique to Japan. That is good.
That's fantastic.
That's real good. I like stuff like that. Didn't like the Star Wars prequel trilogy posters do that, or no, they did. Didn't they do like some posters like the entire saga, and they all kind of stitched together?
Yeah,
some Star Wars thing did a thing,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Sus has Kirby Planet Robobot. My bird Kirby just looks so good. Now this is funny because he has the angry eyes, but he's smiling, so he's like, it's not like he's mad. He's just like, fuck yeah! I'm in a robot.
I'm in a mech. Ah, it's what I always wanted. Yeah.
One Up versus CPU has Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. It says I looked through my collection and this one stood out. It's Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I don't remember Azure Rathalos being anything special here. It was just returning after being absent from Try, I guess. I needed some strong dragon amiibo to hold it up for the picture. I also used the 3DS box art as a shower curtain. Oh, he has a shower curtain made from Link Between Worlds. That's
that
good.
rules. That's very cool. I like that a lot.
Mike, it's time for a new shower curtain. That Star Trek one's pretty old.
Just audio listeners, if you're listening to this, you should be able to click a link in the description, and it'll take you to this this slideshow if you want to watch along with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Razzled Jazzled has Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King. He says it has some solid box art.
Yeah, really good Toriyama.
Exactly. I like the villain kind of on the left there, and cut off. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Playable in 2D. Some areas are also playable in 3D. What a weird thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, mark that. Chuck 1991 says my submission is for Sega 3D Classics Collection with artwork by the legendary Ken Sugimori. You would think Nintendo would have kept their 3D Classics going and offered a collection like this. Sega does what Nintendo don't. The Sega 3D Classic collections are great. What a good job they did on those.
These are all M2, right? Developed by M2. Uh-huh. So that's just a great developer for that stuff.
Yep. All right, here's another really good one. Again, it's obvious, but Hosp has Super Mario 3D Land. Just looks so fun. Made me buy a 3DS. Negative points for the weirdly soulless white surroundings. But here's why this one works again. When you're selling a 3D game on a 3D system, the way that they have certain elements pop over that 3DS border on the right informs the 3D-ness of the image itself. Plus, I like the cheeky, it's Mario, but the shadow is Tanuki Suit Mario. So
right, that's a callback to Super Mario Brothers 3, right? That did the same thing there somewhere. And some of the art for that, they did that, I think. That's fantastic.
All right, MonkeyBot 9K says, I never played the Dragon Quest Rocket Slime games, but they seem very fun, and their cover art is some peak whimsical Toriyama art. Yeah, that's just Slime as a pirate coming out of a cannon. That's amazing.
Yeah, and a lot of other cute, like, slime-related things in the background. I like him. That little bat guy is very good.
Mm-hmm. Bench JC says, neat stuff, as he posts the box to Zelda A Link Between Worlds. So you can see what I'm talking about, how, like, it has that kind of gold filter over it. Like I said, that just makes me think of the gold cartridge. I like it.
Yep.
All right. Pechan says, Labyrinth no Kanata is a neat dungeon crawler that never released outside Japan. The game is great and has a fan translation available if you guys want to play it. That looks cool. I get a weird almost Shadow of the Colossus vibe from it, except for the girls, in like a kind of modern outfit.
Yeah, like what kind of game is this? I guess
I have no idea. It's a dungeon crawler, so
okay. All right, interesting.
Probably similar to like a Shin Megami, I would guess.
Maybe. Yeah. All right, Konami. Fair enough.
Cranjus McBasketball post Fire Emblem Fates Conquest. I mean, this one has the best waifu.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's true.
Definitely. I 100% agree.
Okay, you perverts. Nick Turbo posted some game called Senran Kogura. I can't read that subtitle. He says this
Burst,
game, I don't know what the game is.
I don't know how I know, but it's Senran Kagura Burst.
And he says, Breadfish thinks it looks cool, but is too scared to post it. But Breadfish said, no, I said Senran Kagura 2.
Okay.
Because there's 2, whatever those are, coming out of there.
There you go, everybody. There you go. There it is.
Good job. Good job.
Oh, boy.
All right. Clink says, well, technically the special edition, I really like what they're able to do with the expanded real estate for the box art on SMT4. That is cool. The black and white kind of split there is very nice.
Yeah, it's I don't know, something about it looks really expensive and premium. I like it.
All right, Benji Glaskey is here to break our hearts on Valentine's Day, and he's posting the proposed box art for Mega Man Legends 3, which didn't come out.
Man, look at that. That is very cool.
I know. Come on. That was back when Capcom was bad. They're good now, but they were bad for a while.
But only bad Capcom could have ever made a Mega Man Legends 3. That's the problem. That's the real trick there.
Right. Kodo has Fire Emblem Awakening. He says the box art has got to be the best for the series, right? There's just something so visually pleasing about all of those weapons aiming at the same angle. See, he gets it.
Yep. It's really good stuff.
He's used Photoshop.
Yep.
Big Tony says, as a late adopter to the 3DS, I found this at GameStop for $5. I immediately grabbed it because of the cover, and that is Project Cross Zone. And see, I said that right. Because the X means cross.
Yeah, there you go. I would have said Project X Zone.
See that? Gruntilda's Bazoongas said, God, I want her to sit on me like she's doing this box art. Please, mommy, please. That's Metroid Samus Returns. I mean, it's just metal armor. Like, that's
you don't get it, AJ.
I guess I don't. I guess I am just too old now. I'm an old man, just set in my ways. All right, Inafe says, I think Persona Q2 is fantastic. Look at that chibi boy.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool. That's I forgot that the Q games were even a thing, but yeah. Is the style of the game chibi? I guess it must be.
I would assume. I would hope. Also advertising otherwise.
New Cinema Labyrinth.
All right, Chronobound says, why play the game when you could look at this box instead for Centipede Infestation? Look at that.
That's, man, we don't get enough Atari games on these lists. Well done, everybody.
Octo says, I dig the Fantasy Life cozy anime vibes. New one coming to Switch as well. Again, those are all just good boys and girls on that one.
Yeah.
With a happy dragon.
Fantasy Life, level 5. It's like, who did that one? Yeah, that's level 5. I was always curious about this game, but never tried it. Maybe I'll look into that new one.
Soji Kodo has Kirby Battle Royale. They didn't need to go this hard for Kirby box art, but they did. Too bad the game wasn't very good. We still got Angry Eyes Kirby, but there's other Kirbys too without Angry Eyes. The cowboy is indeterminate.
Yeah, the eyes could be angry, yeah.
Yeah, hard to say.
I'm imagining that they are.
Pablo Cos submits by saying, a bit overcrowded, but radiant Historia. Perfect chronology has an evocative box art. Ooh, it is evocative.
Yeah,
good use of color.
Absolutely.
The stairs are nice leading lines to your main character in the front there. Composition, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's designed.
Then JD Camp says, look at these cute Final Fantasy freaks from the Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy Curtain Call. I do like the style they have for the characters. They look like these little paper dolls. That's fun.
That new one's coming out, and I think it still has the style, so...
It does, yeah. I was going to talk about that later.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Gigantes42 says, my favorite Zelda game, and that is Link Between Worlds. So that's, I guess now that's winning by default. That's what's been posted twice, right? Keywork says, Europe got a better box art IMO showing the European and North American versions of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. Same thing with the kind of 3D... the gold gloss for the North American version. They're both good, though.
I really like the North American version this time. I think the European one looks a little bit weird. It looks like the cover of like a romance novel almost. Yeah.
The time-traveling elf boy who loved me. Sasquatch Crossing says, fun and quirky characters for a light and cheerful game in Rune Factory 4.
I think I've never
played a Rune Factory.
I've come to the end of our slideshow, so
these are late submissions.
Yeah,
so
that's what you get, everybody.
That's what you get. You don't throw a fit. Last one, Grant throws up Majora's Mask 3D. Says, surprised no one else posted this yet. This is such a huge upgrade over the N64 Majora's Mask box art IMO. Someone did post it. You missed it. That's what you get trying to sneak one in. That's it, everybody. So
here's my favorite.
Usually,
Paper Mario Sticker Star. It's a bad game, but they're like
that's a good box.
Yeah, the promise of this was so like, oh man, look at all those fun stickers, and then you realize like, wait, everything is just a usable sticker. I'm like, look at this friggin' cat down here. That's like, yeah, it looks crazy. What's going on here? Yeah, again, the promise not delivered upon, but it looked cool on the box art. Okay.
Usually Mike picks the next topic, but he's not here. And we need to cut down some time with the show next week. So that's why I've decided I want you all to submit your favorite Virtual Boy box art.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, man, that's fun.
So let's see who wins that contest. There you go.
Everyone's just going to pick like a Telero Boxer. Everyone pick Telero Boxer.
All right, Jeff, what Nintendo games have you been playing?
I've been playing a little game called Metroid Prime Remastered, and boy, does it's like beyond holding up. It's still one of the best games ever made, and it looks better than ever. I think it is the best looking game on Switch. It is just incredible all around. I'm in love, and I've been in love with this game for my entire life now, and it's awesome that it's still that game. It really is still that game, and it's not just me saying it anymore. Now, I mean, of course, it wasn't always just me, but now it's like everyone who's coming to it for the first time is being like, wow.
Right, it's just like, oh, wow, this game's incredible.
Yeah, they just figured it out right away. Yeah, they figured it out right away.
I was playing it the other day, just kind of sitting in a chair with my Switch, and two of my kids came over like, oh, Dad, what are you playing? I'm like, oh, I'm playing this game called Metroid, and they were both just immediately transfixed by what they see and just want to play it. And I'm like, well, okay, Walter's 4. I don't think he's quite there yet, but Sophia has her 8th birthday coming next month, so she don't tell her anybody. She's probably getting a copy of that game. So yeah, she actually started playing Super Metroid on the
cool
on NSO today. She was very excited. Dad, look, I'm the ball now. So there you go, keep going. I said this is gonna be obtuse. You're not gonna know what to do. Don't get frustrated. Just explore.
Yeah, just explore. It's one of the things that when I didn't get lost in this Metroid Prime game, what I did was I just started going in directions where I'm like, I think I have a door that I can get in now because I have a new ability, and I just started doing that. I collected I got an energy tank and I got several missile upgrades, and it's like, oh, cool. Now I'm just more prepared for the rest of the game, and now that I've like sort of poked around, I know where to go next. And it's like, okay, that was awesome. It wasn't a waste of my time. It was just awesome to explore and use my powers in new ways. It's such a well thought out game.
This game does one of my favorite graphical tricks I think I've seen in a game in 10 years. Which is weird because it's a Switch remake. Have you gone out in the rain and you see the rain pooling on your arm cannon, but then did you look up?
I've seen this apparently. So
if you look up, the rain starts streaking down the arm instead of just pooling. Like, come on!
It's just incredible that the attention to detail.
So good. That's so good.
Retro's art team and Retro's technology teams are both top of the industry, and it's like, how is that still true after all this time?
Not to belabor this point, but some other Nintendo games have had graphical shortcomings, and they have this team who can do this with this hardware. Like, why isn't like engineers from Retro like dipping their fingers in everything Nintendo's working on to like get it up to snuff? It's insane.
Yep, insane. There's obviously a lot of great development talent in Texas, and Retro has been attracting them for years and years, and taking advantage of it. And boy, I'm really excited now for Metroid Prime 4. Playing this game with dual stick controls, it's like, it feels, there's nothing about it that doesn't feel modern now. And the game design is so well done that the idea that there was a team there at Retro going back, dissecting this game, putting it back together and making it better than ever. Well, they've looked under the hood. They know what to do now to go build a better version of one of these, and I hope they pull it off. And now for the first time, I think I'm confident that they can, and that's amazing.
Because that was the fear, right? Like the Retro today is not the Retro who made Metroid Prime. They made some Donkey Kong games, and it's the ship of Theseus and all that. And I think they still got it.
Yep. I mean that's how it works. Eventually, the Chicago Bulls are going to win a championship again without anyone that was on that original team. Like, no one's there anymore, but eventually they're going to come back around and like try to build a team in a similar way. And it's like retro can do that same thing. It's like they're just coming in and they want to be that retro that they grew up with or that they recognized or that they saw when they played those games. And it's possible because they want to keep that same culture. And it's like, yeah, they have it. They figured it out. And boy, I'm just really enjoying this game. It's really well done.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you've been playing?
More
Grubb and Lang?
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I got a ton of games now because I got that. I've been playing a lot of Hitman Freelancer now on my Steam Deck, which just continues to be fantastic. I've gotten to the second round a couple of times, like past the first showdown, and I always blow it in that second part. But I'm like, I think this is going to be a roguelite like that, where I'm going to slowly increase the like what's available to my character in terms of going into a level, like what I can go in there with. And eventually it's going to be a little bit easier, and then I'm also going to be getting better at the way that this game is set up. And I'm like, I'm going to keep playing it. And so I'm like, I have that going. And then I wanted to play some Dark and Darker, but that's going to be shut down for the Unprofessional Friday we're going to do. So now instead we're switching over to Wild Hearts. So there's like a lot of games going on right now. And I want to play Pizza Tower for a quick look, which is like a Wario Land game. That's like Wario Land meets Tony Hawk is how I've been describing it, in terms of like you've got all these moves you can combine. So there's a lot of stuff out there. I just haven't had time for a lot of other things. But Metroid Prime Remastered's been at the top of the list. That's what I've been playing the most. So other than that, I've been dipping my toes into a few Game Boy Advance games.
Just checking everything out, see how they run.
Checking everything out. I am looking at putting together some time with Minish Cap. I might do like a longer stream where I just play a lot of Minish Cap, try to get a lot of time in there so I can play with people that love that game that can give me some pointers to make sure I'm like getting into the loop and not bouncing off of it like I always have. How about you?
So yeah, aside from Metroid, I've been playing the Theater Rhythm demo. Very excited for the full release of that. I was curious to see how they'd handle it because it's not really going to be touchscreen based like the 3DS one was, and it's very clever. It is just button presses, but it's like any button. But then they do things where you have to push like 2 or 3 at the same time, or like keep one held down and hitting another one. You have to decide like which fingers you're going to use, and if you play it on the hardest difficulties, it's too hard. I can't do it. At least not yet. So. But the good thing is, it seems the structure of the game, at least in the demo, and I assume this is how it translates, is you can kind of pick which Final Fantasy game you want to focus on. So obviously, if you guys watch Mike's stream, you know he and I play Final Fantasy 14 a lot. So it's like, yeah, I just want to play the Final Fantasy 14 songs. Like Final Fantasy 5, I don't know that music. Like I'll get to it, that's fine. But let me play the ones I know and like. So I like that the game is kind of structured towards that. Another one where my daughter saw me playing the demo and she's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, you've never seen a rhythm game before, huh? Yeah, this is called Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm." She's like, "Can I play it?" I was like, "Oh, you have the demo," and she's been playing it. So I'm like, "Okay, cool. This is your introduction to Final Fantasy, I guess."
All right, then. Yeah, fun. Yeah, my kids saw me playing Metroid Prime as well, and they were pretty enamored. Especially Emmy, the 5-year-old. She was like, "Huh, this is not as good as Kirby," and she always make sure to point that out. But this is cool. I'm like, okay, yeah, watch you play.
Oh, and it is worth pointing out too. So Sophia's asking about this game, this character. She's a bounty hunter, and her name's Samus Aran, and she goes, "Wait, it's a girl?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, yeah, no, that's a girl in that armor." And I went up to the wall and shot a missile so you could see her eyes, and it's kind of cute. Your little daughter, and she's like, "Oh, that's a girl. That's
Isn't that awesome?"
Cool. And I'm like, "That's right.
It's very neat.
That's right."
I'm looking for pictures, and I'm like making sure not to show her any of the ones where people are being super perverted, and she's got a big dumper and all that stuff. And I'm like, "Well, no, but there she just is." And like have you seen the new model for the character in Metroid Prime? They did a real glow up on it, so it's
I haven't looked at it yet. No.
Yeah, and it's like, so they were like, yeah, that's probably the model they're going to use for Metroid Prime 4. So yeah, pretty good stuff.
Sweet. Yeah, aside from that, I was playing along with Fire Emblem Engage until Metroid got in the way of that. But
Same. I'm going back to Engage. Like that's happening. I'm going to beat that.
I do want to go back to. I'm that person who I'm glad there's less social stuff than there was in Three Houses because the combat is so good. Just the presentation of the game is so wonderful. I just love the way that it transitions from that overhead view to using the same map and same assets to those fight scenes that are so beautifully animated. Everything just feels very engaging and just visceral, and yeah, it's super good. I'm really happy with that. And then the other thing I just wanted to mention that I kind of been dipping into on my Analog Pocket, they released a team came out with a ROM hack for Mega Man 5 on the Game Boy, which was all the first 4 Mega Man games on Game Boy were kind of like spin-offy of the NES equivalents, the same Robot Masters and all that. 5 was the first one that was like its own game, completely original. Like all the Robot Masters are named after the planets of the solar system, and it stood out for that. So what these guys did is they literally turned it into a Game Boy Color game. Like it runs as a Game Boy Color ROM, which is separate from a Game Boy ROM, and they just gave the game a full color pass, fixed up some bugs and glitches in the game, and added a more modern Mega Man menu to it for selecting your weapons. And it's like a remaster of this classic Mega Man Game Boy game. And like I said, I got it, and it looks great there. And it's cool. It's like basically a brand new Mega Man game to play right now, which is fun.
Sean says we couldn't get over the finish line, huh? Without having an argument about that again.
I crossed it like this. Yeah.
There's a lot of fun stuff done out there in the ROM hacking community, and I've been having fun with that.
Did you see? Just this week, a team released a reverse engineered port of Link to the Past.
Yeah, I did see that, and I'm like, well,
you have to compile it yourself.
Incredible,
because that's how they're avoiding the legal trouble. So you need to provide the ROM and compile it. But you can compile it for any platform, Linux, Windows, whatever. And it adds widescreen, and they're going to keep enhancing that. But it's just so funny that, like, again, I have Super Mario 64 Plus or whatever it's called on my Steam Deck, and it's like, why is this like a million times better than the All-Stars port that Nintendo did themselves? Like, really, they couldn't beat what a mod team did in a year.
And they could, they just won't. They just won't. They just save money at every
turn. They don't have to. They'll sell it anyway. So why would
that? That's the big thing. Yeah,
it's just all fault people buying this stuff. I didn't buy it. No,
I bought it. I definitely bought it.
I did too. I bought it.
I got the ROM hack, the English translation ROM hack for Tingle's Balloon Land of Love. I guess that was another thing I played a little bit of.
Oh, that's a good Valentine's Day stream. Yeah, what are we doing here?
We were gonna play it for Valentine's Day, but then Lover Watch, the Overwatch dating sim, launched, so we did that instead. Me and Lucy, we were gonna play Tingle's Balloon Trip of Love, but Balloon Trip of Love is like a 15-hour game or something, like a 20-hour game. I'm like, oh, we won't be able to get like into the meat of this actually, so it's probably not a good idea. But I want to play that game. Let's stream that whole thing, so we'll see. Anything else, AJ?
No, before we wrap it up, were there any more last-minute super chats that we should hit?
There are, and thank you for reminding me. All right, let's see here. Super chat from Beach Raven. Stay safe out there. Good luck with the vinyl chloride. We're doing our best.
Yes.
And then
that water.
I think that must have been, that's the last one. I think we're all caught up.
Okay.
So this one from El Grubb we read already. Well done, everybody.
Yes, good job, everyone. Well, that is going to do it for this 2-hour marathon episode of Last of the Nintendogs. Thanks for joining in, everybody. Don't forget, go to manscape.com, use that code BEST, save 20% and get your free worldwide shipping, and you can have balls as nice as ours.
That's right. Just very nice balls. The spicy meatballs can be yours.
Yes. Spicy bubbles all around. Everybody, thank you for listening. Jeff, tell people where they'll find you on the internet.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Grubb everywhere. Twitch.tv/Jeff Grubb. I will be doing another big stream here in a couple nights. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll start the Minotish cap, the Minish cap here in a couple days when I do the other part of my my sponsored stream, which will be coming up soon when I get that thing delivered from Factor. So look out for that, and maybe I'll play through a big chunk of that game. That'll be fun. So Jeff Grubb, how about you?
You could find me, I would say Twitter. I really don't use Twitter much anymore, but I'm at AdgeGuy. That's probably still the best way to find me. And check out 90s Disney. That's the podcast I do every month with my brothers, Mike, who you know, and Chris, who you might also know. What was our last episode? What did we just do? Mike, what did we just do? It was something. We talked about Disney stuff in the 90s.
What did you talk about? I can't remember. All right, 90s Disney. Check it out, everybody. See you next time.
Listen to that, everybody. Bye. Jafar, return to Jafar.
There it is.
Somehow Jafar returned.
Somehow Jafar has returned.
And I cannot hear the song.
You can't hear it. They can hear it. Don't worry.
Okay. Let's see.
Didn't Greg Miller get cream pied?
Happy Valentine's Day.
DJ Christian.